Bottom line is the Chiefs will be without Larry Johnson for at least another 2 weeks.
His is off the field. He needs to figure his off-the-field problems. Football is secondary right now in that young man's life.
Bryant kicking away. Savage is deep. This is Savage. And Savage takes a vicious hit at the 30-yard line. Tenard Jackson. And a quick look at the series note. The big key here, since 1995, the Kansas City Chiefs are 21-5 at home. So if I'm Tampa Bay, Tony, I don't look at their record too much.
No, and if you're a Chiefs fan, you're saying, okay, listen, we got some hope. We play well against the NFC. We're at home. This is always a tough place to play. As you know, Ron, I don't care what the record is. Arrowhead is tough to play at if you're a visiting team.
First and 10, looks like pass. Fakes the run. Pressure early, and Thigpen goes down. Barrett Ruud, the middle linebacker.
And we talk about the keys of the game. Ron, you mentioned it looks like pass. Well, that's the spread offense. We're going to see a lot of that. We talked to Herm Edwards. They said, listen, with this Tampa Bay team, we got to stay within striking distance. We got to keep it a one-score game throughout all 4 quarters. They got to keep them honest. We saw the pass look there. They at least have to try to run the ball to slow down this Tampa Bay defense and finally handle the pressure. They're going to blitz Tyler Thigpen all day.
0 yards on the play. Going for the out, and it's there. That's Tony Gonzalez. And Gonzalez on the cusp of a couple records today. 10 catches from 10th place all time on the receptions list, and looking for one more 100-yard game to tie Kellen Winslow for the most 100-yard games for a tight end. And there's a look at the starting offensive line and starting offense for the Kansas City Chiefs.
The theme for this offense, for this Chiefs team, the defense, everybody, it's a young team. The majority of guys are 3 years or younger as far as starters.
First and 10 after the catch by Gonzalez. The toss, that's Smith. Smith with a cut. And a nice run and a first down as he's across midfield. Jackson on the tackle, but another Chiefs first down. And they're going up against a very tough Tampa Bay defense, ranked number 5 in the NFL, number 8 against the rush. And they'll get some pressure up front. Gaines Adams starting to play a lot better with 2 sacks in each of the last 2 games.
Yeah, and if Kansas City can run the ball like that, it'll make this spread even more effective. That was a great little toss play right at Kevin Carter. Mike Cox did a good job of lead blocking right on Cato June. Big hole for Colby Smith.
The handoff again to Smith. Not much there. Jackson on the tackle. Tyler Thigpen started the season as the 3rd quarterback, but injuries to Brody Croyle, Damon Heward, both on the injured reserve list, gone for the season, means he gets his 3rd NFL start today. He went up to the New York Jets last week and performed pretty well. 25 of 36, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 110 quarterback rating in a game that a lot of people felt the Chiefs should have won. 2nd down and 9. Smith again, and look at this. The Chiefs being able to run the football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tony, I'm not sure we expected that this early.
No, they do a good job. They do a good job of running the zone to the front side right here. And then he's going to cut all the way back. The seal by Adrian Jones on Chris Hovan is really the key to that block. And then Damian McIntosh getting up to the next level linebackers really opened a huge hole. Let me tell you, Ron, this is a little bit shocking. This Tampa Bay defense is one of the best against stopping the run, and so far the Chiefs are having a lot of success.
Here's a 3rd and 1. Bootleg. Thigpen will take it. He'll have it, and then a little more. So Thigpen, brought in last year after being cut by Minnesota. 2nd-year man out of Coastal Carolina, the Division I AA school. Getting some action here early.
Well, yeah, he was cut. And the Minnesota Vikings tried to hide him with Brad Childers. Really liked the guy. And it was funny talking to the team this week. Tony Gonzalez said it perfectly. He was shocked how well Tyler Thigpen played last week. No one expected it. They said they couldn't believe it, how effective he was, the throws he was making. He showed a ton of confidence last week against the Jets. First
and 10 run. looking for the cutback. Instead, Smith goes outside and then cuts it back in. Not a lot there. Of course, the Chiefs down to their backup, triple backups at running back with the suspension to Larry Johnson. Colby Smith, 5th-round pick last year out of Louisville.
And they really surprised the Jets last week. They barely ran the ball at all. They threw it all over the field. A lot of shotgun stuff, hurry-up stuff. And I think Herm Edwards realized, hey, listen, that was good for that game. And that's going to be a package of ours. And you can see them right now. They're lining up in it. But we got to run the ball. We got to keep this defense on the field of the Bucs.
Second down, they'll run again. That's Smith. You'll get a look at Smith a lot today, along with the rookie, the 3rd-round pick out of Texas, Jamal Charles. He's part of the guys, one of the 4 guys brought in that Jared Allen trade that went down before the season. In fact, Charles on his way in right now.
And I think, Ron, Jamal Charles is the more explosive of the 2 backs. Boy, he really gets up in the hole and shows some explosiveness. He can make guys miss. Really, for a young guy, the thing they really like about him is how well he blocks the rush, that picks up the blitz. Tony Gonzalez split outside right here. Something they like to do in this formation.
And they show pressure. 3rd and 4. There's Gonzalez. What he does so well, and Gonzalez is inside the 15-yard line. Finally brought down by Piscatelli, but it's 16 yards and a big first down for Kansas City as they move inside the red zone.
And we showed Tony Gonzalez split out, and that's something they like to do. I mean, this is the complete package of the tight end. He's a Hall of Famer, Ron. He can line up on the line of scrimmage, makes it a tough matchup. You split him out. Now as a defense, you have to decide, who do we put out there? You can't put a linebacker, he's too good. He's too big for a safety. Really tough matchup for the Bucs when it comes to Tony Gonzalez.
The leading tight end in NFL history in catches, yards, and touchdown catches. That's Charles for a couple inside. Tackle by Hovan.
And they ran right at the big tackle. Brandon Albert, the rookie, and Brian Waters. Great combination block working up. And Derek Brooks has been around a long time, and he said, oh my goodness, here comes one of those big old rookies. And he came out there, did just enough to create a crease. And right now, they're creating a bubble on the line, Ron. They're getting enough push. They're creating a new line of scrimmage for the Chiefs.
Chiefs looking for the first quarter touchdown in 12 games. Play action, looking for a crosser. It's not there. Thigpen finally just tosses it out of bounds. Doesn't take the sack. Gaines Adams on the pressure.
And you watch the film, you see him making plays like this. And I refer back to the Atlanta game where he was, I mean, just flat miserable. I think he would agree, everyone, he looked like a first-year starter. Really didn't have his wits about him. He even said last week what that did is it really built his confidence. He started feeling like he belonged. He could start making the throws. He felt like he was good enough to play at this level. And even though that wasn't a completion, just the fact of the knowledge to get outside the pocket and not take the sack shows a lot of maturity.
3rd down and 5. This is where Tampa Bay is tough in the red zone. Quick slant inside. Touchdown, Chiefs. Their first quarter touchdown in 12 games. Dwayne Bowe working on Aqib Talib.
Right here, Dwayne Bowe working. He's going to run a slant pattern. Look at the distance, the rookie. He's on the goal line. I think it's too big of a cushion. And he reacts well. He sees it, but can't jump inside quick enough. Dwayne Bowe, too big of a receiver also, I think, to play off that far on.
3rd touchdown of the year for Bowe. And the Kansas City Chiefs strike early against the number 5 defense in the NFL. 7-0. And that did not look like a scoring drive from the 27th ranked offense.
Nor the 5th rated defense. I mean, my goodness.
12 plays, 69 yards. Capped off by the 7-yard touchdown catch. Thigpen to Bowe.
Ronnie, some kind of transformation happened to that kid from the first start to these last 2, because he looks like a completely different player. With him at quarterback, all these young players are playing with a lot of energy, and they got a chance. I mean, that was impressive.
Connor Barth, the second kicker of the year for Kansas City, kicks it off, a short kick. And this is Clifton Smith. Smith with a very nice return as he pounds it out to the 35-yard line. Not bad for the youngster as the Chiefs get up early here in Kansas City. Seven 0 Kansas City as we get set here for Jeff Garcia and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Garcia with his fourth start of the year, yanked early in the season, started the opener against New Orleans. Didn't play very well. Jon Gruden said he didn't play very well. He had been nicked up in training camp. They sat him down, brought Greasy in, but he's earned his starting spot back and played pretty well. Fumble! Opening fumble recovered by Kansas City. Turk McBride may have knocked it loose.
Well, that's not what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do, and that's something Ernest Graham does not usually do. Running it up in there, tough, and I think that's Tank Tyler
Tyler knocks it loose.
Reaching in there and causing the fumble. And then Turk McBride's the one who falls on it.
McBride recovers the fumble.
And that's something, I mean, Ernest Graham has great ball security. He usually runs with good pad level. Just got in there, and Tank Tyler hit the ball perfect, hit it right on the nose, and knocked it out.
So 1st and 10 for Thigpen and the Chiefs. Wide open. That's the backup tight end, Brad Cottom, the 3rd-round pick this year out of Tennessee. He's got a nice pickup on 1st down.
Ronnie, you know, we talked about one of the rookies to watch today, and it's Brandon Albert. I love watching this guy on film. He played guard in college. They've moved him out to left tackle. He has great feet. He's big. He's strong, but he's going to have a tough matchup today. Both Gaines Adams and Greg White will take turns lining up against him. 2 ferocious pass rushers. Gaines Adams had a big week last week with the 2 sacks. It's going to be a great test, a good matchup to watch today.
Smith, 2nd and short, and Smith will convert early. A marker goes down early.
And that's Gaines Adams jumping right there. The
Offside,
play before.
Defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
The play before, Gaines Adams right here working against Brandon Albert.
The penalty is declined. The play results in a 1st down.
And you can see him jumping off, getting a quick jump. I think he tried to get a quick jump because he had a good pass rush against Brandon Albert, and Brandon Albert shut it down. He tried to spin back inside. He understands, Gaines Adams, he needs to try to get every advantage he can because getting around Brandon Albert is no easy task.
Jon Gruden told his team, hey, listen, Arrowhead isn't for everybody. He was talking about the noise and the crowd and how NFC teams have struggled here since '95. Thigpen inside. Another wide open receiver. There's Gonzalez. First down, Chiefs.
And this is why this is an important matchup, because if you're going to give your quarterback all day like this, Brandon Albert just locking up Gaines Adams as well as the rest of the offensive line. Not a great throw, but he threw it where he had to. He saw a little bit of a hole and said, you know what, I can put it maybe not in the best place when I got a tight end like Tony Gonzalez.
15 yards on the reception. Look at the total yards discrepancy.
I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Smith can't quite make the cut. Adams on the tackle.
You know, one of the things that is surprising so far as we look at the start of this game, it was one of my keys that they needed to attempt to run, because I didn't think they'd have a lot of success. I think they just needed to do that as a change of pace with the spread. The Chiefs have come out and said, maybe we're going to surprise you as well, Tampa. We're going to come and run it right down your throat. And that's what they're doing right now. They're being physical. They're getting after them. And that's a little shocking right now.
There's a look at Monty Kiffin, the Buccaneers defensive coordinator. 2nd and 6. Smith again. And on film, Tony, they had to look at the Kansas City Chiefs in this run game and almost laugh, because at the end of the game last week against the Jets, the Chiefs were ahead really all they had to do was get a couple first downs and ice the game, and they went 1, 2, 3 and punted. And of course, Brett Favre came back and beat them.
Well, if they're laughing, the joke's on them. Because right now this team, looks like one of the best rushing offenses in the league, and the Bucs have yet to give up a rushing touchdown. But they better, buck up right here and get their pads low, because otherwise the Chiefs are going to run it right down their throat as they have been.
3rd and 2. The boot. Thigpen with plenty of time on the roll, tries to go backside and can't quite hit Tony Gonzalez, but a marker's down.
I think they're going to get some sort of pass interference or holding. Looked like one of the Bucs defenders tried to come back and grab, was holding on. I think it's Rondé Barber working against Tony Gonzalez.
Defense number 20. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for Rondé Barber. He's working right here. We talked about the matchup problems that Tony Gonzalez causes, and watch, Rondé Barber's just holding on for dear life right there. And definitely, contact beyond 5 yards, he's holding on there.
Yeah, but you notice that Tampa Bay put a cornerback on a tight end. When you get a tight end that's as good as Gonzalez,
well,
you don't put a safety on it.
Ron, you got to do something, but there's the problem with putting a corner on him. He's too big and strong. I mean, he just uses his body and his size. That's why he's the best, though, every year, one of the best. It's such a tough matchup.
So after the penalty, 1st and goal. Smith at halfback. Pass, pop pass, not even close. I think it hit the crossbar. Looking for Gonzalez again, and they can't make it work.
Well, one of the reasons it didn't work is Tony Gonzalez was playing against 12 guys, the 11 Buccaneers, and the umpire as well. You're going to see right here, blocks him. I don't think the ball is going to be caught anyways. It was so high, but definitely made it more difficult as he bumped into the umpire. Now,
2nd and goal.
Sorry, Ron. This is where reward your offensive line and run the ball in right here.
Smith with the dive, and he's got it. And that is the first rushing touchdown of the year given up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the first touchdown of the year by Smith.
And I talked about, you got to reward your offensive linemen. Let those big guys get after it. Good pad level. Not a ton of movement, but they didn't allow penetration. So they allowed Colby Smith to get to the line of scrimmage before he launched. He didn't have to launch out of the backfield. Good job. That offensive line right now is getting after it.
Connor Barth, the rookie free agent out of North Carolina, brought in after they cut Nick Novak, will tack on the extra. No flags. And the Kansas City Chiefs are lighting up the Buccaneers early, and we're still in the 1st quarter. Herman Edwards and Monty Kiffin. Remember, both of these guys spent time on the same staff down in Tampa Bay. And Herman Edwards knows how to play the Buccaneers. He knows what that defense is all about. He was a defensive backs coach there for a long time. And he told us on Friday, we have to have or stay at least 1 score ahead. And you look at that ball control.
Well, yeah, they're 2 scores ahead. And he said, listen, this defense, Monty Kiffin's defense, they're the best. They're great. But one thing they struggle with, if they have to be on the field a long time, we can wear them out. So far, 10 minutes, they are starting that process.
This will be Clifton Smith. He had a nice return the last time out. And he trips forward to about the 25-yard line. All fireworks, all Kansas City here in the 1st quarter. Through 7 games, the Chiefs working on that 1st quarter scoring issue. And they're also working on the clock. They've held the ball for 10 minutes now to Tampa Bay's 13 seconds. That's how you win football games. The cutback, that's Ernest Graham for a couple. Let's go to Los Angeles and check in for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee. All right, Kurt, the Bucs went to a no-huddle offense. And they give again to Graham. Graham almost got through there.
and we look at the keys of the game, right now you need just to stay on the field, but besides that, they need to stretch the field. And I say that, throw the ball, let Joey Galloway open it up, but to set that up, you got to do what they're doing right now, and that's run the ball. The other thing is they got to be better in the red area. They're one of the worst in the NFL. 6 points, not 3. And finally, for the Tampa Bay defense, don't be fooled by the spread. You have to stay honest, but you have to blitz Tyler Thigpen.
3rd down and 2. Gilmore in short motion. The pitch. Graham got through. Let's see where they mark it. It looks as though he got it. Jared Page on the tackle. It's 3 yards and a 1st down.
And this is where this Tampa Bay offense is best, is when Ernest Graham is running the ball. He's physical, he gets after you, he opens up everything else. That's why they will then be able to stretch the field because of Ernest Graham. One note, Jeremy Zutaw starting at left guard today for the injured Aaron Sears.
And Donnie Edwards gets the starting call at linebacker for Demario Williams for the Chiefs. Play action. Dump it down, not much there for John Gilmore. The free agent from Chicago, hit by Pat Thomas, a pickup of 4. The starting lineups, Tamba Hali, Tyler, Glenn Dorsey, that's the 1st round pick, number 5 overall from LSU. He's been very quiet, still learning how to rush the passer. We talked about the change there. Williams out, Donnie Edwards getting the starting call in linebacking.
Then you have those young corners, Brandon Carr and Brandon Flowers, 2 rookies playing really good football right now.
2nd down and 6. Bootleg wide open. That's Gilmore. And Gilmore has the 1st down as he's across midfield.
Ronnie, that's two passes in a row to John Gilmore. When we were watching tape this week, we noticed that John Gilmore was only in the ball game when they ran the ball. Every time John Gilmore had a snap against the Cowboys, it was a run. I got to believe they did a little bit of self-scouting because 2 times in a row, John Gilmore's in, they throw to him.
12 yards of the reception. And the Chiefs, boy, are shuffling personnel in and out of the game like crazy. They've brought in their big people. Now they've gone back to their nickel. Graham inside. The Chiefs ranked 31st, 2nd to last in the NFL in total defense and last against the rush. So the Buccaneers have to believe at 5.6 a crack that they can run the ball against them.
You would think, and one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of different personnel is because the Chiefs have scouted the Bucs. They do a lot of different formations, create a lot of different matchups. Talking about scouting, self-scouting is when a team, the coaches will watch their own film and see if they have any tendencies, anything they're giving away to their opponents.
Chiefs back in their base package. The throw intended for Graham, and they can't make it work. Pat Thomas with the coverage.
And I got to believe Jon Gruden sitting over there realizes that he has the speedster in Joey Galloway, and he has a couple rookies out there playing corner. I would hope to see a couple shots to him, set up some man-to-man coverage with those corners on an island against Joey Galloway and see if you can take advantage of it. And right now they have 3 rookies in because coming in at nickel is Maurice Leggett.
3rd down and 8. Plenty of time for Garcia. Throws inside, it's complete. And it's a Buccaneer 1st down. Michael Clayton.
Michael Clayton working against Brandon Carr. And the Chiefs are in a zone, and Michael Clayton does a good job of just sitting down in that zone. If it would have been man-to-man, he would have kept on running across the formation. Him and Jeff Garcia are on the same page, so he sits down and gives Jeff a good target.
Clayton starting to get some balls now. Had that great rookie year, set a team record with 80 catches. Hasn't gotten anywhere near that since. Going up the sidelines, a circus catch, but he's out of bounds. No, they say he's in. What a great catch by Antonio Bryant, the team's leading receiver.
Antonio Bryant working against the rookie, Maurice Leggett, who's going to be there.
Wow.
What a catch. He's going to be their nickel back there because Patrick Surtain is out. and they're going after him right away. He gets both feet
That's
in.
the end of the first quarter.
And that is the end of the first quarter, a quarter that is all about Kansas City up 14 zip. The NFL on Fox continues after these short commercial messages. We start the second quarter. Ron Pitts, Tony Baselli, Carissa Thompson, 14-0 Kansas City. They got on the board early. 7-yard touchdown reception. Dwayne Bowe, Kobe Smith with a 1-yard touchdown run. Early turnover has hurt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they are driving now. And that's Ernest Graham for a couple. And Tony, we talk about what Tampa Bay had to do coming into this game. Well, number one, not get down early in what is notoriously a very loud, hostile environment.
Yeah, they're doing okay on offense. I mean, they had the early turnover. You don't like that, but now they're getting the run going, and we're seeing the pass open up. Defensively, they better get over on the sideline with Monty Kiffin and figure out what the Chiefs are doing. And what they're doing right now is just whipping them up front. The Chiefs offensive line is playing very well, both in pass blocking and running, creating some run gaps for Kobe Smith and Jamal Charles.
They give to Graham on second down, and Graham very close to a first down. McBride on the tackle. A pickup of 3. And a look at the first quarter numbers.
And the one that is shocking to me is this one right here. This rushing yards. I'm trying to circle it. It's not working, though. Ronnie, the telestrator's out.
I saw you. I know.
You
You're
saw
right.
me doing it, but it's 51 yards. Trust me, I was circling the rush yards. That's the one that's surprising me. Surprising to me that the Chiefs have 51 yards so far in the first quarter against this Bucs defense.
Chiefs go to their tough package. Flowers comes out. Boyman comes in. Michael Bennett trying to get some love. Nothing doing. McBride is there, along with Page and several others in red shirts.
And Jon Gruden runs that play because he's read the stat book and it is believed that the Chiefs are one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. Well, on that play, they said, not so quick. We're playing better. They played better last week against the Jets against the run, except for that one big trap play that Leon Washington had up the middle for a touchdown. Besides that, they played solid, and they're improving. Herm Edwards told us, hey, this defense is getting better. We're starting to figure it out. We're starting to trust each other.
A loss of 2 on the play, and on comes Matt Bryant from 25 yards out. He's a perfect 5 for 5 from this distance. Good snap, not much pressure, and it's clean. So the Bucs answer like they have to after being down 14-0, put together a nice drive and get 3 points. And this might sound a little strange, but that is a typical Bucs drive as of late. 13 plays, 70 yards, capped off with only a field goal instead of the touchdown. That's what got them in trouble last week against Dallas. The drive stalled. The final drive of the game-winning drive, stalled in the red zone, and they picked right back up where they left off. Savage takes it on the run and squeezes it up to about the 28-yard line. 12:58 here in the second quarter, 14-3 Chiefs.
Separated due to long deployments.
Chiefs will take over 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. To give to Charles. Charles inside for a few. Jackson on the tackle. And it's been a fast start by the Kansas City Chiefs. They got it going early. The touchdown throw inside. Thigpen to Dwayne Bowe. And then Colby Smith, the second-year man out of Louisville, jumped over the top. But the big story is that man's team has put together 2 very, very nice drives early in the first quarter. And they've resulted in touchdowns, not field goals. 2nd and 4. Wide receiver screen. Mark Bradley with a nice hit, gets very close to the first down. Rondé Barber is there.
And you know what the Chiefs are doing. Jon Gruden, their offensive coordinator, is doing a great job of using the spread that they used most of the time last week against the Jets. Really confused the Jets. And this week they're working in some power running as well. They're going back and forth, keeping Monty Kiffin and the Buccaneers really on their heels right now. It's been effective. And a big part of that is they've been able to run the ball. Even on that first down run a play ago, you know, Jamal Charles getting 6 yards, positive plays on first down, make it so much easier for coordinators to call games.
Chiefs looking at a 3rd and 1. Direct snap. That's to the running back. That's Charles. And Charles has the first down. Quarterback not even in the backfield.
And Ron, and we can thank Darren McFadden and the Arkansas Razorbacks for this formation right there. The Dolphins are calling Wildcat, call it whatever you want. They bring in, you know, they've split out the quarterback as a wide receiver and let one of their, you know, better running backs or better ball carriers direct snap, and you have so many options. Great 3rd down call. Another play that caught the Buccaneers off their guard.
Yep. So they reset it, 1st and 10 on the other side of the 50. Charles has broken through and almost broke it all the way. Very close to the first down, brought down by Brooks. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kurt, I don't want to go home tonight if Jacksonville loses that game against the Bengals. It's been tough enough living in Jacksonville right now with that Jaguar team who's really underperformed so far.
That's their first.
Timeout. We'll be back.
Be sure to visit the Chevy End Zone before every game to look at the new line of 2009 Chevy vehicles. The Chevy End Zone is located by Gate D, and it's a great place to party before the game with family and friends.
And the irony here, Jamal Charles filling in along with 2 other backs for the suspended Larry Johnson. He is part of that Jared Allen trade that traded St. Allen to Minnesota.
They're in the Wildcat formation, Ron, again. They split out Tyler Thigpen.
Charles will take the snap directly. Reverse, they fake it, almost lose it. There's a throw, wide open. It's Thigpen. And he's got it. Touchdown, Kansas City. And if you want to talk about getting your pants pulled down, well, it's happening to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Kansas City Chiefs have pulled out all stops, and now they come with the Wildcat offense, the reverse, and the throwback pass to the quarterback for a touchdown.
They're going to split out to the bottom of the screen. Tyler Thigpen, you can see him, he's just jogging. They're running the reverse. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneer corner bites up, sucks up to come stop the reverse, and Tyler Thigpen beats him deep. What a play. I guess when you're 1-6, you pull out all the stops, let the young guys play and have some fun.
Mark Bradley brought in as a free agent this year. He uncorked it, and Thigpen with his first catch and first touchdown catch in the NFL.
And right now, Jon Gruden is winning the battle between coordinators with Monty Kiffin, pulling out all the stops, running the ball effectively. He has the spread up, you know, the spread offense, brings the Wildcat out. Mark Bradley throwing touchdown passes to the quarterback, pulling out all the stops right now.
Tony, you don't see that happen very often to a Monty Kiffin coach defense. Smith with a nice lane. Clifton Smith is still going, and Smith pounds out to the 40-yard line. Good return. Finally brought down by John McGraw. 36 yards. But I thought trick-or-treat and Halloween was over. The man on your right is Jon Gruden, the Chiefs offensive coordinator. His first year here with the Chiefs. Spent the last 6 years as head coach at Georgia Tech. He looked a little salty coming down the tunnel this morning, Tony. I know why. He had something in his pocket for Tampa Bay. There's a quick throw outside to Stevens, incomplete. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Yeah, talking about Chan Gailey, he set this up perfect. You got Mark Bradley up at the top, who's going to be the guy who's going to get the ball in the reverse. Tyler Thigpen on the bottom of the screen. Watch Tyler Thigpen act this thing out and sell it that he's not involved in the play. Rondé Barber bites up. And Mark Bradley might have been a quarterback in a past life because he delivers the strike.
How could he not?
Tyler Thigpen. Yeah, but we've seen before guys that wide open and the ball kind of flutter up there like a wounded duck.
2nd and 10, so now the question for Tampa Bay, how fast can they come back? That's Graham, tackled by Ali. Let's go down to Carissa Thompson.
Oh boy, was Rondé Barber upset after that last Chiefs touchdown. He came over to the sideline, threw his helmet in frustration, just started screaming. Let's just say there's a lot of printouts being passed around to find out the picture evidence of what in the world is going on with this Tampa Bay defense.
Yeah, Carissa, you're talking about the Polaroids, the snapshot that they take whenever you just got beat. That's one picture you don't want to see. 3rd and 7. Very loud. A high one, a heater, but it's caught by Bryant. And Bryant is across midfield for first down. Bernard Pollard on the tackle, 17 yards. Nice looking play.
And the reason Rondé Barber threw his helmet because he got fooled. Watch Tyler Thigpen just kind of jog. I'm not in the play. And by the time Rondé figures out that Tyler Thigpen's the intended receiver, it's way too late. And I'll tell you what they're going to see on those pictures on the sidelines. They're going to see a bunch of Bucs defenders covered up by the Chiefs offensive line.
1st and 10, Graham. Graham inside. Tony, they say nothing good comes out of looking in the backfield if you're a defensive back. That play is proof.
And you look at this, now we go back, we come over to the Buccaneers offense, and does Jon Gruden have the discipline to stick with his game plan? Because there's so much time left in this game, Ronnie. Yeah, you're down 21-3, but it's not time to scrap everything you've worked on all week. You stick with the game plan, get a score, get a touchdown. You need a touchdown and get back in the game.
Boyman checks in for Flowers. 2nd and 5. They're thinking run. They get pass. Going for the long corner route of Tom. Intercepted. Brandon Carr, the rookie 5th-round pick, one of the 2 rookies starting at corner, and he makes Tampa Bay pay. 34 yards on the return, and more problems for the Buccaneers.
Well, they were set up in a run formation, so like you said, it looked like they were going to run the ball power eye, but the Chiefs secondary never bought it. Didn't suck up. The safety stayed home, and you can see Derek Johnson, the linebacker, not fooled by play action, running with Jeremy Stevens, so making it a tough throw. He forced Jeff Garcia he had to throw it over the linebacker and just got a little too much air under it. If the play action works better, Derek Johnson sucks up. Now there's a bigger window to hit your tight end.
The way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if Chan Gailey went play action and just tossed one deep. They'll keep it on the ground. Smith. And Smith very close to breaking it. Now for an update on the St. Louis Rams. Let's go out to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee. And that is Smith on the field. We're going to check on him when we come back.
The excitement of Chiefs games at the new Arrowhead can be yours all season long. 2009 Chiefs season tickets are now available. For details.
And that's Colby Smith, who's ran very well today. 5th-round pick 2 years ago out of Louisville. They are looking at his knee or something in the leg area. He's got 10 carries for 46 yards, and the Bucs have not been able to stop the run. They came into the game giving up 88 yards per game rushing. Right now, Kansas City is over that. And we're not even in the second half.
It's tough to really tell what happened. Will Allen on the tackle after a nice run by Colby Smith. but you could see immediately when he went down, looking him on the field, he was waving the trainers over, so he knew he was hurt immediately. And Ron, this leaves them a little bit thin in the backfield now. You know, they got Dantrell Savage, the rookie back there. They just signed Jackie Battle to the roster. And what that does is really due to Larry Johnson and the suspension that he's dealing with right now.
Johnson now officially suspended for a week by the league to go along with the current game-to-game team suspension he was already on for personal conduct violations. Both suspensions are a result of yet another assault charge that Johnson has been involved in. He's involved in several similar situations dating all the way back to his rookie year. So he is out today. That is part of the team suspension. As you look at Smith being carted off, he is out next week against the San Diego Chargers. That is a part of Roger Goodell's league suspension, and he is not allowed on the team premises until November 10th.
Tyler Thigpen at the bottom of the screen again. They're in that wildcat look.
2nd and 5. That's Charles. And Charles close to midfield. A pickup of 2. Tony, we talk about the youth on this team, and we talked about the rookie cornerback starting. You've got a lot of young kids throughout this franchise, and teams will do that. They'll draft people, a lot of young kids, but they won't play them. Carl Peterson has played his kids here. Talking about Carl Peterson, the general manager. Well, they are putting him on the field.
Herm Edwards told us about the 2 corners, Brandon Carr and Brandon Flowers, that they drafted. He said on draft day, he told everybody, those are my starting corners this year.
3rd down and 3. Pressure backside. He gets it away. Great catch. Ball is loose. He may be down already. That was Gonzalez. Let's see what they call it. Nope, they call it Tampa Bay ball. Thigpen very slow to get up. I don't know if Gonzalez was down or not.
Brandon Albert working against Greg White. It's the matchup we told to watch right there. And Greg White does a good job of using his hands, knocking Brandon Albert's hands down, and then uses the rip move. And then Tony Gonzalez on the catch.
No, the knee's down.
Yeah, I think
his right knee is down.
The defense recovered the ball. 1st down.
Watch for the red flag to come out here by Herm Edwards.
I think if you're Herm Edwards, you definitely challenge this one. The knee is down. Then the ball squirts out well after.
And the tricky thing about these all the time.
Challenging the ruling on the field, but the player was not down.
The tricky thing, Ron, about these things all the time. Now remember, they called it a fumble, defensive ball. So now there has to be conclusive evidence that it was not a fumble. And so from this view right here, we can see the ball and the knee about the same time. Well, the ball's covered up right there, but there it is. After the knee is down, you can see the ball appear into the picture, and Cato June then rip it out. And here's another look. Knee down. As we move forward, now the ball's out. I think without a doubt there's plenty of evidence to show that that was not a fumble. And Tyler Thigpen, bad enough to get hit in the back, and then shows the frustration of seeing the fumble and big Brandon Albert doing whatever a good left tackle is supposed to do after you get beat, go help your guy up.
So we wait for Ed Hockley. He's under the hoodie. And Tony, going back to what we were talking about just before that, the rebuilding, the transition phase that the Chiefs are obviously in. 9 of the 12 draft picks are playing. 5, as many as 5 at any given Sunday are starting. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you look at that and say, well, we don't like transition because we're 1-6.
Yeah, no one likes transition. But they had such a veteran team when Herm Edwards got here. He knew that they had to make a change, that they couldn't keep up the pace. Yeah, maybe they can get in as a wild card, but if they want to build a championship football team here in Kansas City, they really needed to blow it up and start over. And they had a very good draft this year. They got Glenn Dorsey as their first pick in the 1st round. Not having a great year right now, but he will. They got Brandon Albert, who we've already talked about, Jamal Charles. They got the 2 corners, Brandon Flowers and Brandon Carr. They got some really good young players. Brad Cottom, the tight end, who will replace Tony Gonzalez, I believe, one day. And it's going to, you have to be patient. And I think they got the right guy at coach, too. Herm Edwards, the high energy. One thing that caught my eye when I was at the facility on Friday is how at 1-6, he still has the team. 1-6, and maybe your best player in Larry Johnson is suspended, you wonder what the locker room would like. To a man, they said every one of them listens to Herm Edwards. There's no dissension. We're on the same page. We don't like losing, but we're going to be good. It might not be this year. It might be, somewhere down the road next year, but 2 years from now, watch out. This team will be reckoned with.
4 picks in all taken from the Jared Allen trade. Here comes Ed Hockley with a decision.
The Kansas City player's knee was down before the ball came loose. Therefore, it's Kansas City's ball at the 46-yard line. First down. No timeouts are charged.
So Kansas City will not lose a timeout, and they will get the first down because when Gonzalez hit the ground and the ball came out, he had gotten the first down.
Yeah, hey, we got one right. We're on the same page.
I think we're pretty good.
We're all right. We're on the same page as Ed and the rest of the officials down there.
So 1st and 10, Thigpen, that gave him a chance to recover a little bit. He was shaken up on that last play. 8-man front for the Bucs. Man-to-man down the field. He'll have to tuck it and run. It just gets out of bounds. Gaines Adams chasing him down. And Jared Allen came into General Manager Carl Peterson's office during the summer and said, hey, listen, I'm a franchise tag guy, which means I've got to get a certain amount of money compared to the rest of the players in my position. If you're not going to give me a long-term deal, then send me out of here. And Carl obliged. And as a result, they got some picks. And we've seen Brandon Albert. You talked about him, but Jamal Charles has shown up today.
No, they played well. That's one of the things they wanted to do in the offseason, acquire picks. They wanted a big draft class. They had 13 players. That's how you rebuild for the long run in this league.
2nd and 9 throw should have been intercepted. Philip Buchanan looked as though it hit him right in the chest. Intended for Dwayne Bowe.
And he's playing press coverage on Dwayne Bowe. Does a good job. That's what all good corners have, is the great feet. I mean, kept his shoulder square, kept his hip square, used his feet, and was able to jump inside and take away the slant.
If anything, they could have called something on Bowe. Bowe had grabbed the left arm of Philip Buchanan. Nice job by Bowe becoming the defender.
And 3rd down here, Tony Gonzalez is going to be split out again, creating a 4 wide receiver set.
3rd and 9, going deep. Looking for Bowe, and it's knocked away. Great coverage there by Aqib Talib, the number 20th player picked overall from Kansas.
And Aqib Talib, big corner at 6'1", 205, can get up there and fight with the big receiver Dwayne Bowe at 6'2". And again, almost another case there, Ron, where you could have maybe called offensive pass interference. Dwayne Bowe having to really get physical to prevent. He almost started playing defense to prevent the interception.
Aqib leading all NFL rookies with 3 interceptions. This is Steve Weatherford punting away. Back deep, Hilliard. Hilliard hopes this one will go into the end zone, and it does for a touchback. Don't forget a
team in football than the New York Giants right now.
I don't think so.
I mean, Tennessee Titans maybe because they're undefeated, but
I don't think so.
I mean, if those two teams are playing each other, I'm picking the Giants. Tom Coughlin, Eli Manning doing an outstanding job. Big matchup. Dallas needs this game. They had a big win last week against Tampa. Now they need to respond again against the Giants.
Dallas has won the last 3 meetings against the Giants. There's Bennett. Ernest Graham, we get an injury report on him. Twisted knee. His return is probable.
Well, they need him to return. They're already down Warwick Dunn, like we talked about. Michael Bennett came here last year in the trade, but Ernest Graham is their best running back. He's the workhorse. They need him healthy. You can see some of the Buccaneer team leaders. The big thing there that I was about to circle was the 2 turnovers. Ernest Graham had the fumble, and Jeff Garcia with the interception.
2nd and 7. Time, throw, that's Bryant. And Bryant with a nice reception. He'll be about 4 yards short of the first down. He picks up 4 yards.
Look at Joseph working against Tank Tyler right here. Davin Joseph will be your right guard. And then with the game working with Glenn Dorsey, the rookie, coming over. The interior of that Bucs offensive line, even without guard Aaron Sears, is still really good. They like Jeremy Zutah, the rookie. And then talking about Davin Joseph, one of the better right guards, more physical, nasty guys in the league.
3rd down and 3. Incomplete. It hit Clayton right in the head. Clayton is saying, hey, I need a pass interference penalty, and he won't get it. Flowers on the coverage. And that will bring up 4th down.
And that was a similar play that the Jets tried to run against Brandon Flowers that he returned for a touchdown last week. The little underneath route, crossing pattern. And Brandon Flowers is showing right now why he was the 2nd-round pick and why they felt like he would start from day one. Can play man coverage very well. The cover 2 that Herm Edwards likes that he got from Tampa Bay. He really can do it all right now.
First 3 and out today for either team as Josh Bidwell comes on to punt. Savage is standing at the 30-yard line. Nice high kick. Savage back to the 22. Gets a couple nice blocks. And then the walls close in at the 32-yard line.
The Halloween costume that Michael Strahan had, dressing up as Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. That's a classic of all time.
That scared me.
He kind of looked like a cross between, I don't know, that guy on Phantasm, the movie Phantasm, that old man in the mortuary, and then the old man on The Simpsons.
That's not a good combination.
2nd and 10. 1st and 10. A deep shot. Got him. Mark Bradley. He beat Philip Buchanan. 57 big ones.
And Philip Buchanan was outside in man-to-man coverage on Mark Bradley. And Mark Bradley just runs right by him.
Yeah, because Buchanan can't stop looking in the backfield.
Yeah, he's looking in the backfield, Ron. You know that as a former corner, that's something you can't do. He got caught looking back too long. As soon as he saw Mark Bradley accelerating, he better get on his horse and pay attention to that receiver and stop looking at Tyler Thigpen.
First and 10, they'll throw again. This to the end zone, double coverage on Gonzalez. No flag, incomplete. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update.
Coverage by Rondé Barber. 2nd and 10 from the 12.
Quick look at the NFC North standings. Chicago and Green Bay locked up. We've got can't say a good one if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's all about the Chiefs. 2nd and 10. A surprise, more like it. A marker goes down as Barrett Ruud makes the tackle on Jamal Charles.
Yeah, they're going to get Brian Waters, the left guard, tackling Chris O'Vain.
Number 54, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Brian Waters right here, the Pro Bowl, All-Pro left guard working against Chris O'Vain. Gets his hands outside, and it doesn't look much from there, but if you get your hands outside, a lot of times the umpire is going to see that, and if the defender tries to get away from you and you don't let him go, more times than not, they're going to call a holding penalty there.
3-time Pro Bowler is Brian Waters. Been here quite a while, last 8 years here in Kansas City, former NFL Europe player.
Well, that was the first penalty, and that's saying a lot about a young team for the Chiefs.
2nd and 20. Pressure, Thigpen steps up, steps out. A late hit, no markers go down. Ryan Sims came in late, the former Kansas City Chief.
You see Tyler Thigpen's going to be forced up in the pocket.
That's their first. It's a 30-second timeout.
And the Ryan Sims, maybe you get that call, but it wasn't violent. He kind of just belly flopped him a little bit, and I don't think no harm, no foul.
Imagine what Jon Gruden is going to say to his team at halftime And like he told us, and I mentioned it earlier, don't be surprised in here. Don't come in here and get surprised. This place isn't for everybody. And what he meant, don't get trapped.
Well, you're curious what Jon Gruden's going to say? I want to hear Monty Kiffin. I mean, because this proud defense is getting handed to him right now, 21-3. It's 3rd and long. You better keep him out of the end zone right here and force him to a field goal. But it's going to be awful quiet on the defensive end of the locker room, and all you're going to hear is Monty Kiffin
screaming, most likely. 3rd and 19. Thigpen throws it up. Oh, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Tony Gonzalez. And you can count that between 2 fingers, how many times you'll see a drop pass by Gonzalez.
Yeah, and that's the play that Tony Gonzalez is known for making. And Tyler Thigpen did the right thing. He saw the matchup he had outside with Tony Gonzalez on Tanar Jackson. Throw it up there and let your big tight end make a play, and you got a better than a 50-50 chance. And that's a tough play. I mean, Tanar Jackson got his hands in there.
Looked as though he's got his hand right in there.
Yeah, he got his hand. Yeah, I agree with you. But that's what you want to do. Go throw it up there. Let your big time tight end try to make a play.
39 yards out for Connor Barth. It's true, no markers. And the Chiefs continue to pour it on the Buccaneers, 24-3. For Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show.
Now, Ron, as we look at the situation now, if you're Tampa Bay, you're going to get the ball back with about just over 2 minutes, 2 timeouts left. You're down 24-3. This is where you get your veterans together. You get Jeff Garcia, get that big offensive line, Joey Gallo, and the rest of the crew, and say, listen, guys, we've played terrible this first half. It's 24-3, we're down. But we can make up for a lot of that right now and feel good going in the locker room if we can find a way to score a touchdown, make it 24-10. And you tell them, say, listen, our defense is going to play better. Let's give ourselves a chance going into halftime. And conversely, on the other side of the ball, if you're Herm Edwards, you're gathering your guys around, all these young guys looking at you with wide eyes, big as saucers, and say, hey, guys, just 2 more minutes. Hang in there for 2 more minutes. Let's get in there with this lead, and let's make this a 30-minute football game with a 21-point lead.
But Tampa Bay won't be able to do it if they keep playing like they've been playing in the red zone.
Oh, gosh, they won't be able to do anything if they do that.
They've got to turn the field goals into touchdowns starting right now. Smith has had some nice returns all day. He could take this one. A missed tackle, and Clifton Smith will score. 97 yards, and Tony Baselli, we were just talking about it. What do the Buccaneers have to do to get back in it? Well, that's a big step in the right direction. John McGraw with the huge missed tackle there that could have saved the touchdown.
Yeah, and now forget about what I said. It's nothing to do with Jon Gruden talking to his offense. Now it's Monty Kiffin. You get these guys together. This might be the very play that will get this veteran team going, get some life. And if you're Herm Edwards, what you have to be worried about, how much will this hurt the confidence of my young players? Are they going to start looking at each other and going, oh, no. Here we go again.
That's right.
Are we not good? I mean, whatever the thoughts of young players, you start going through it and you're saying, okay, hey, let's just stay together. It's okay. That's just one play.
That is only the 2nd kickoff return for a touchdown in franchise history for the Buccaneers. And Smith has kind of gotten in the good graces of Jon Gruden, even though he's fumbled on the kickoff 2 weeks straight. He makes it all good this time.
Yeah, he's just going to hit it right up the gut. Great blocking by the wedge. And then John McGraw is tracking him, has a chance.
Oh, you got to make that tackle. Get him high.
Yeah, and that's where you got to jump on the shoulders and make him carry it for a little bit and let other people catch up. And Clifton Smith has forced Dexter Jackson, their 2nd-round draft pick, to the bench. Dexter Jackson, out of Appalachian State, was brought in to be a return guy, maybe a 3rd or 4th receiver. Can't get on the field anymore because this rookie free agent out of Fresno State has shown that, hey, I'm a good return guy. I can get on the field. And he returned punts at Fresno State, something he was, and kickoff, something he was comfortable with there. And it's transferred over to this level as well. Well, that was a big-time play and something the Tampa Bay Buccaneers needed desperately to get back in this thing.
And I'm sure for Kansas City, a bit of a surprise to see Tampa Bay that effective on kickoff returns, because they came into the game 2nd to last in the NFC in kickoff returns. So
not only that, they don't have the best history when it comes to kickoff returns.
You're right. That's well chronicled. So instead of going in, arguably, if they can shut them down the last series there, 24-3. A little bit different situation now with 2 minutes left. Leggett and Savage back deep for Kansas City. Bryant with the high pooch kick, could be trouble. Nice job of catching that ball on the run there. That's Savage. Jamil Cook with the tackle.
Warning.
Big plays before the half. 24-10 Kansas City. And what a day it's been thus far for those two men. Tyler Thigpen, the third-string quarterback out of Coastal Carolina, jumps in, gets a starting nod a couple weeks ago, and he has lit it up. He has done everything except sell popcorn. That may be coming. There's a run. And we might get a face mask. I saw the face mask turn on Jamal Charles.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Jamal Charles, you see coaches do this on the first down play of a 2-minute drive and run the ball first, and right there you can see Barrett Ruud clearly not only grab the face mask. No longer is there an incidental face mask in the NFL any longer, only the unsportsmanlike kind, and they determine that is if you grasp it and you see a head jerk or turn, clearly turned the head there. Now, I mean, you're in good, you have great field position, plenty of time, timeouts. I think if you're Herm Edwards and Changel, you have to open it up. Great learning experience for a young team. Be aggressive, show them you have confidence in them, and see if you can get another score to negate that big kickoff return.
1st and 10 after the penalty. There's a sailor. And what I mean by that, a long, lazy throw that usually ends up going back the other way. Intended for Will Franklin. Savvy Piscatelli had a beat on it.
You can see Rondé Barber working in right there on the blitz. Jamal Charles just whiffs him. And Tyler Thigpen, the reason the ball sailed, Ronnie, is because he was backing up, saw the blitz, and felt pressure more than it was really there. Didn't feel like he could step up, threw off his back foot, and the thing took off on him.
2nd and 10. Bradley inside the 40-yard line. Tackled by Brooks.
See the timeouts up right up here, 2 for each team. Just under 1:30 now. And Tyler Thigpen very comfortable in the hurry-up offense, something he ran at Coastal Carolina.
I feel about at least 10 yards away from being in field goal range, and that one in and out of the hands of Dwayne Bowe. That'll bring up 4th down.
And that drives you crazy because everything, you set up everything very well. You got the play you want, you got the matchup you want, good route and everything else, just didn't finish the job.
So if Ike Hilliard goes back deep for Tampa Bay, Steve Weatherford on the punt. Weatherford puts it up high, but I believe it's going to go into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback coming back the other way for Tampa Bay. And some of the key plays today, the reverse throwback pass, not from the quarterback, but from Mark Bradley to the quarterback, and it was money. Tyler Thigpen with his first touchdown catch. And this is the kickoff return for the touchdown. And that was the first kickoff return for a touchdown, 97 yards there by Clifton Smith, given up by Kansas City since 2005. Devin Hester was the last team to get him.
And I was about to say, everything going the Chiefs' way, all the momentum until that kickoff return.
So Graham checks back in. Screen to Graham. Played perfectly by the Chiefs defense. And you saw Derek Johnson there early to stop it up.
And then Glenn Dorsey doing a good job of working down the line of scrimmage, seeing that it's screen. And after Derek Johnson blows up the guard, Davin Joseph,
due to the injury inside the last 2 minutes, Kansas City has charged a timeout. That's their second.
Injury timeout against Kansas City inside of 2 minutes with an injury. You are charged a timeout. As Ed Hockley just said, they are down.
In their best, you mentioned the first round out of Texas, he's their best linebacker. And looks like he's walking off on his own power. Looks like he's going to be okay.
So the Chiefs come into the game, as we talked about earlier, with very unimpressive numbers. Ranked 31st in the NFL in total defense and last against the run, but they have been able to flat shut down the entire offense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Under 50 seconds, a long throw outside to Jeremy Stevens. And it's incomplete.
Ron, and Jeff Garcia not really sharp today. He had the interception. They clearly overthrew Jeremy Stevens earlier. And then right there, you know, not going to be a big play, but Jeremy Stevens open in the flat, and just a bad ball way off target by Jeff.
Well, you know, it all started out early for them. The first play, fumble, they got a grand total of like, 13 seconds, while Kansas City had the ball 10 minutes. I don't know that they've ever recovered from that. 3rd and 11. Garcia holding the ball a long time. That intended for Graham. Incomplete. We've got a marker down. Could be a late hit on the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Turk McBride, second-year man out of Tennessee, and he's upset about it.
Yeah, he's working against Donald Penn, who's a very good pass blocker. Yeah, that's clearly, I mean, that's 2 or 3 steps after the play. And that's a dumb penalty, because they're getting off the field. And now you give this Buccaneer offense a little bit of life. 41 seconds left, 2 timeouts. If you're the Chiefs, you can't afford to make mistakes like that.
Brian Johnston, the rookie 7th-round pick out of Gardner-Webb, comes in his place. Throw over the middle, it's wide open. That's Joey Galloway. Galloway has been bothered with injuries, his second game back. He was out 5 games with a sprained foot,
Tampa Bay.
But they have sorely missed his deep presence.
The 30-second timeout.
Timeout called by Tampa Bay.
And Joey Galloway is just going to run a deep in route. And just really soft coverage by Brandon Carr, the rookie. Really giving him plenty of respect and plenty of room. Don't want to get beat deep. You know, one of the issues here for Tampa Bay has been the timing between Joey Galloway and Jeff Garcia. Joey Galloway, you mentioned the injury, hasn't allowed him to practice. And when he's practicing, maybe not full speed. And Jeff Garcia has been frustrated because he feels like he can't time up the deep balls with Joey Galloway, not really on the same page. I mean, last week it was an issue, frustration, people maybe not knowing what to do all the time. Their passing game has not been in sync.
1 timeout left for both teams.
Timeout Kansas City. That's their 3rd and final timeout. 30 seconds.
Kansas City now taking their final timeout.
And if you look at if you're Tampa Bay with 33 seconds left, and if you can get a field goal out of this situation, if you're Tampa Bay and go down 24-13, you have to feel very fortunate, because you have not done much on offense all day long. You've really been shut out by this Chiefs defense. You had the 1 drive that resulted to 3, but you couldn't punch it in down near the goal line. You got the big play by Clifton Smith with the return, and now to steal one away here after the drop by Dwayne Bowe. Boy, you have to feel pretty good for not playing well if you're Tampa Bay.
And I have to believe they want to get as close as they can. If not score, Matt Bryant has struggled from 50 yards or more. He's 0 for 2 this year. There's a throw inside. And a catch, that's Antonio Bryant.
And now you have to hurry up. You're Tampa Bay. The clock's counting down to 20 seconds. Like I said, you need to save that last timeout for a field goal.
Incomplete, intended for Galloway, and that was well behind and well short.
see Jeff Garcia working in the pocket out of the shotgun. The offensive line does a pretty good job of giving him time. And one of the things that has been a little, maybe a criticism or concern about Jeff, he's not setting his feet real well in the pocket. He's moving around a little bit more than they would like.
As of right now, would be about a 54-yard field goal. Complete Graham, and Graham slices inside the 25-yard line.
Timeout, Tampa. That's their
And
third
the Buccaneers
and final
call
timeout.
their final timeout and bring on Matt Bryant.
And that time, the fact that Jeff is moving his feet around and all over the place helped out because he had nothing to the front side. He jumps as only Jeff Garcia can. And watch, he's in the air jumping as he finds somehow Ernest Graham on the backside. Just shows the awareness that Jeff Garcia has. He knows where everyone is, nothing front side. Jumping, the little jump pass in the air and slings it to Ernest Graham, and now setting up a 43-yard field goal.
43 yards out. Bryant is 2 of 3 from this distance. Looks good. That one would have been good from 55 plus. And so the Kansas City Chiefs hold on to the lead, but the Bucs are on their way. 24-13 Kansas City. Coming up, it's the Visa halftime report with all the scores and highlights coming your way. Kansas City, a shocker to say the least, and I really kind of think Tampa Bay is lucky to be at 13 the way this thing started.
I agree 100%. They have not played as well as the score indicates, and that's saying something because Kansas City has dominated this game in the first half. But with all that said, Ron, this is a huge first drive for both teams, especially I think even more for Kansas City. Up 24-13, the last thing you want to do is have a young team who played so well in the first half, give up a drive, and make it a one-possession game all of a sudden. And the key stat, I think, in the first half is the rushing yards with the Kansas City Chiefs, 98 yards on the ground. Jamal Charles has looked very good. Colby Smith as well before he got hurt. That has really kept the Buccaneers defense on their heels.
In the last 12 games, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns for Tampa Bay after going the first 497 games of the franchise career without one. And there's a solid hit at the 35-yard line. That was Brian Clark on the return.
And Ron, as we talked at the beginning of the game, some of the keys to this game, we'll look at 2 of them right now. For Kansas City was keep them honest. And what we meant by that is they had to run the ball. They were so effective in the spread last week, but they couldn't abandon the run and just stick to the spread, and they haven't. They've run the ball, and that has opened up the spread, which leads me to Tampa Bay. Don't be fooled. And Tampa Bay is on their heels defensively right now. The big Thigpen reverse touchdown pass to Thigpen off the reverse was the key play in the first half.
The toss, Graham with a nice cut. And then a wall of red shirts in front of it. And Tony, you talk about what stands out in those first half numbers. To me, the rush yards, 33 total for Tampa Bay, just under 100 for Kansas City. And like I said, if they looked at that film, the film we saw and film from last week against the Jets, Kansas City couldn't run the football.
Well, and they're doing a good job. They're doing a lot of inside zone, and they're cutting back with Jamal Charles. And as far as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the lack of run game, I think, has a lot to do with no big-time fullback. B.J. Askew's still hurt.
That's John Gilmore, and Gilmore looks to have stretched for the first down. Let's go down to Carissa Thompson.
Well, speaking to both coaches at halftime for Coach Gruden, he said the Chiefs have been able to run, throw, they've mixed it up, they've been able to do whatever they want. We have to play better football. For Herm Edwards, he says with this young group, we got to keep their focus. They're playing with great energy, and we got to avoid giving up that big play.
And the big play has made all the difference in the world today. First play from scrimmage for Tampa Bay. A hit, a fumble, Kansas City ball. That's Graham across midfield. And then Kansas City with the big reverse pass to Tyler Thigpen. And the miscues, there's the first one. Graham fumbled. Don't think the knee was down, Tony.
And then the interception by Jeff Garcia, just an overthrown ball. Great coverage by Derek Johnson underneath, and threw it right to Brandon Carr.
Clayton Clayton trying to get around the corner. Not even close. Turk McBride all over it.
And Brandon Flowers, the corner, came up in support, did a good job, and he was shaken up a little bit. And that's going to bring in Tyron Brackenridge, a guy they just picked up this week, into the ball game.
He replaces Dimitri Patterson, who was beat for the game winner last week against the New York Jets. He got beat. They cut him. They bring in Brackenridge, second-year man out of Washington State.
He's working against Antonio Bryant on the bottom of the screen, locked up in man-to-man coverage.
They might test him right now. There it is. Got him. Bryant. That's how offensive coordinators think. And that's how Jon Gruden is thinking. They went right after the new meat, 12 yards and a first down.
Yeah, you see the starter go down, Brandon Flowers, and you got your best receiver this year. Antonio Bryant is the best receiver on the Bucs right now, and that's where you're going to go. If you're Jeff Garcia, you're aware of the situation, and I wouldn't doubt if Jon Gruden was in his ear saying, this is where I want to go with the ball.
Brian Johnston, along with Alfonso Boone, started off at the defensive end positions for Kansas City. There's a hit in the backfield. Nicely done. The man I just mentioned, Alfonso Boone, brought in as a free agent last year from Chicago, 8-year man out of Mount San Antonio, JC.
That's out by where you live.
Mount Sac.
Yeah, Mount Sac out in California.
You remember Boone. Bears fans will remember Boone, originally a 7th-round pick by the Bears back in 2000. Doesn't have very good numbers, only 12.5 career sacks, but the Chiefs will take that play all day. 2nd and 12. Play action. Dump down, incomplete. Intended for Jameel Cook. Cook can't hold on. Cook was just signed 2 weeks ago, trying to replace some of the massive injuries they've had at fullback. Tony, you alluded to that earlier.
And on the tackle right there, Ron, was Maurice Leggett, the other rookie corner who's come in. He replaced Tyron Brackenridge after the last play. But now Tyron Brackenridge back in because the Chiefs are a nickel. This 3rd and long, so they have 5 defensive backs with 2 linebackers on the field, and they'll be rushing 4 up front.
3rd and 12. No place for Garcia to go. A marker goes down. Garcia runs very close to the line, and it's incomplete.
They're going to get one of those Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive linemen for holding. I believe it was Donald Penn. Actually, looks like they're going to call a...
Go the other way.
Yeah, no, it's going to be against the Buccaneers, but it's going to be a personal foul, probably some sort of chop block if it's within.
Personal foul, offense, number 70. Unnecessary roughness. The penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
That was on the left tackle, Donald Penn.
Yeah, Donald Penn's going to be at the left tackle working against Turk McBride. Clifton Smith gets a great chip. Listen, I have a hard time being critical of Donald Penn on that, because that's what I did as often as I possibly could playing left tackle, is going after guys. That's a clean play. He didn't use his head. He didn't hit that guy in the head. He went after him. I have no problem with that play.
Bidwell will try to kill it inside the 10-yard line. Savage back deep. This one has a chance. Oh! And you got to be aware. Brian Clark had the perfect opportunity to kill the ball inside the 2-yard line, and he couldn't do it, and Bidwell knows it. Ball resting at about the 19-yard line. You look at the first 3 drives. Boy, there's not a coordinator in the world that won't take that. Last 3, a little bit different, but the bottom line, folks, is always the score, and this is Kansas City's worst starting field position today. If you can believe that. That's a run inside to Jamal Charles. Remember, Colby Smith is out of the game with an injury. We talked about the game within the game. Let's see how Brandon Albert is doing.
Yeah, Brandon Albert working against Gaines Adams right there, doing a good job using his hands on the run, just getting his big body, pushing Gaines out of the way, and this is where he has a little bit of trouble. And where he got in trouble is he started leaning, Ronnie. Anytime you're an offensive tackle and you get your head down and start bending at the waist, you're really vulnerable to the outside pass rush. But you can see just by the pure size of Brandon Albert, the long arms can force the defensive end to have to take the long way around.
And you can see by the way that Gaines Adams is twisting around, he's in obvious pain. We'll check on him when we come back. Adams appears to be okay. We'll get an injury update on him a little later on. Greg White subs in his place.
And he's been giving Brandon Albert more trouble than Gaines Adams has.
Second down and 6. A long route outside. That's to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez lapping it up there a little bit with Rondé Barber. Going to be about 3 yards short of the first. Let's go back to the injury to Adams.
You're going to watch from the left side of the screen, Gaines Adams come in at the last second and throw his head in there and his shoulder right there. And my guess is that's where he got some kind of injury, maybe a stinger on or something, just bent his neck a little bit the wrong way, and it looks like he's okay walking on the sidelines.
Ryan Sims checks in at the D tackle spot. 3rd and 3. Somehow Gonzalez comes up with that ball in between 2 defenders, and for a second it looked as though Tenard Jackson might have had an interception. That one working against Jackson and Brooks, and Gonzalez converts.
And these were the throws Tyler Thigpen was not making at first. The first start against Atlanta, he said he had no confidence, was hesitant. Last week he started making throws like this, throwing them into tight spots. And that's what we were talking about in the first half with Tony Gonzalez. Those are the type of balls he catches with those big old hands of his, snatching out of the ground, out of the air, right in between 2 Bucs defenders.
Gonzalez with 6 catches now, working toward that record for the most receptions. Trying to tie Jimmy Smith for 10th place all time. Charles inside.
And after he started pretty hot, 7 for 9, his first 9 attempts with 1 touchdown. He's cooled down a little bit since then, just 3 for 9. You know, I think maybe a little bit that's due to the fact that Monty Kiffin's starting to make adjustments, starting to see what they're doing, making some, showing them some different coverages, maybe blitz him a little bit more. And so we'll see how, as the adjustments are made, how does Tyler Thigpen adjust to them.
But they're running the ball. Kansas City is at 5.1 yards per crack. I mean, that's, you'll take that all day. They get shut down there. Nice play there by Greg White. Pick up of 3, though. And we talk about Tyler Thigpen. He came out slinging, and of course, when you got a guy like Gonzalez, it helps to sling the ball around. But he's hit a lot of different targets. And credit once again to Chan Gailey for not calling a tight game.
No, I mean, he's opening it up with a young guy, only a 2nd year, 3rd start of his NFL career. Remember, we said it at the top, this guy came in and he was your 3rd quarterback. Most guys, offensive coordinators, really tighten the reins and don't do too much. Chan Gailey's doing just the opposite.
3rd and 3, the slant inside, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of Bradley, and that'll be 4th down.
Bradley working against Phil Buchanan, gets me on a slant route.
4th down.
That one's a little high.
Yeah, that's a high ball and a lot of heat on that one. Tough ball for Bradley to handle. When you have that slant route as a quarterback, Ron, you want to put it into the body of the defender. And so he can get prepared to take the hit and be ready for the contact. You don't want to hang your guy out like that.
Steve Weatherford to punt. Kansas City now with their 2nd punter. Their starter, Dustin Colquitt, battling a bad groin. And Smith lets this one go. Wow, what a punt it was. Weatherford got all of that. 58 yards as we got a little extracurricular going. I love you too. I love you too. And we are back here in Kansas City. Ball at about exactly the 20-yard line after the touchback. 1st and 10 run. That's Graham. Not much. Donnie Edwards is there, subbing for Demario Williams. Don't forget the second half of our Fox doubleheader. You'll see the Cowboys taking on the Giants, and that's always a good battle. Jason Witten playing with those sore ribs. What did he say? You can't shoot it up because it's too close to the lungs, so he'll put a flak jacket on.
Trust me, those giant defenders will be coming after him.
Put a target right there in your ribs and hang some fresh meat.
Antonio Pierce is going to know right where that flak jacket is and come after him pretty good.
Markers down on a 2nd and 7.
Once the guard puts his hand on the ground, he cannot remove it. 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
That one going against Jeremy Zuta, the right guard, getting his first start this year at right guard and his 5th career start and all.
Rookie mistake. You can't get in your three-point stance and then get up and start standing around talking again. Once you're in that three-point stance, you're set. You got to be still.
2nd and 12. Chiefs bring up 8 men in the box. They think they're going to get a run. Play action pass, man to man. Throw down underneath. That's Alex Smith, and Smith is going to be about 3 yards short of the first. Rocky Boyman on the tackle.
Ron, you know, as we watch this Buccaneer offense, led by Jon Gruden and Jeff Garcia, they're really out of sync today. And last week, they're definitely out of sync within the red area. Looked good between the 20s. In talking to Jeff Garcia this week, you just get the sense at times him and Jon Gruden aren't on the same page. Jeff Garcia telling us last week that 4th and 5 play, last play of the game, was a play they didn't even work on all week.
3rd down and 3. Inside, caught, marker goes down. That's Ike Hilliard. He's got the first, but let's see what they call. That came from the side judge. This is going to go against Tampa Bay.
Pass interference offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down.
They call that against Ike Hilliard for pushing off. You don't see that very often.
Working against the rookie Brandon Carr, and Ike gave him a little bit extra. But
boy, great recovery by Carr.
Yeah, and often you see the receiver get away with that. But instead of kind of disguising it, kind of just give a little push, he actually lowered his shoulder and tried to get a little extra push off and create the separation.
Yeah, those are smart veteran tricks, though.
Absolutely.
When you play in between the numbers, you got to have them. All good tight ends have them as well. That takes away Hilliard's first catch. 3rd and 13. Boy, is it loud. Check down. That's short. Hilliard again. He's 4 yards short. Let's go down to Carissa Thompson.
All right, guys, an injury update on both sides of the ball. Gaines Adams, he's out with a shoulder. It's a probable return. He was on the sideline, as you guys saw, trying to loosen it up with that windmill motion. For the Chiefs, Colby Smith, he is out with a sprained right knee.
And we can add to that Derek Johnson, outside linebacker. He's banged up with a hamstring. His return is questionable.
And Brandon Flowers, the rookie, has yet to return after he was dinged up a little bit. The rookie for the Chiefs, rookie corner.
4th and 4. This will bring on Bidwell. Savage should have plenty of room. Marker goes down quickly. Savage at the 25. Jukes and jives and does a whole lot of work for not much yardage. 49-yard punt. 5 yards on the return. Let's check the flag. Alex Smith hustling down on the tackle.
You know, talking about that Tampa Bay offense again, that's something Jeff Garcia and Jon Gruden are going to have to get on the same page. I mean, they need to start figuring out exactly what they want to do. You hear
During the kick, holding by the receiving team, number 34. A 10-yard penalty is enforced from the spot where the kick ends. 10 yards, 1st down.
That's Tyron Brackenridge. And I'll let you finish your point when we come back, Glenn. Hold
Thank
that
you.
thought.
I will.
Gaines Adams checking back in. I guess that wing is okay. First and 10 throw. Thigpen checks his backside and then makes a nice run for it as he pushes out to the 29-yard line. Rude and Brooks on the tackle.
Right, just to finish up on that thought about Jon Gruden and Jeff Garcia and getting on the same page. You talk to Jeff Garcia and Antonio Bryant. They want to take more shots down the field, stretch it, try to get the big play. Jon Gruden tells us, hey, listen, I'm calling those downfield plays, but we're not hitting them, or we're not going there when the guys are open. So a little bit of player and coach not on the same page right now. They need to figure it out because this offense has to play better for Tampa Bay.
1st and 10 run. The feet keep churning for Jamal Charles, 21 years old, 3rd-round pick out of Texas, a pickup of 3. And Tony Gonzalez, as we look at the Chiefs leaders, you know, you expect a big day from him, and he usually has those big days. And remember, Gonzalez was a guy like Jared Allen who went to Carl Peterson, the Chiefs general manager, in October and said, hey, listen, I don't know how much longer I have in the NFL. I've had some good years. We're rebuilding. You come out and said we're rebuilding. Trade me. Put me on the block and let me get some action somewhere else and go where I have a chance to win. They didn't make the trade happen, but I admire the way the guy still continues to play football and play well. 2nd and 6. Charles very close to the 1st down.
You know, in talking to Tony Gonzalez, he made it clear to us, hey, listen, and he actually made it clear with his teammates as well, having a player-only meeting once the trade fell through. He said, listen, I think this is going to be a really good team. He says, we're young, but 2 years from now, 2-3 years from now, this team could be dangerous. He says, my concern is, I'm not going to be here 2, 3, 4 years down the road. I'm at the end of my career. I would like a chance to go play for a winner. Nothing against these guys, nothing about what I think about my teammates. It's just at this point in my career, what's best and what I would like to have a chance to do is to play for a title. And with this young team, it might not happen here in 1 or 2 years.
3rd down and 1. Plays stop, markers go down.
12 start offense, number 42, 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
Yet another rookie, the rookie free agent out of Georgia Tech, Mike Cox, picked up early. And going back to Gonzalez, as I've said earlier, needs one more 100-yard receiving game to tie Kellen Winslow for the most 100-yard receiving games by a tight end in NFL history. He's got 23. That would tie Winslow at 24. That's quite a feat.
Yeah, it's pretty good company. And once again, we're going to see it as we look at the Chiefs offense. Tony Gonzalez is going to be split out. It gives them the opportunity right here to run a 4-wide set while keeping their tight end in.
3rd and 6. Going outside, Gonzalez bobbles it. He may have lost yardage on that one. Brooks not letting him get much.
And he's just going to run a little out pattern to the flat against Derek Brooks. And if he catches it clean the first time, Ron, he's able to turn up and get the 1st down.
So Kansas City will turn it over. They'll bring on their punt team. Weatherford standing at about the 20-yard line, punting away to Clifton Smith. Smith has already taken a kickoff back just before the half ended, 97 yards. Only the 2nd kickoff return for a touchdown in franchise history. Smith comes up to get this one. He's got plenty of room. Makes a cut, tripped up, looked as though he had a lane, but he falls down at about the 37-yard line. Tackled by Tyron Breckenridge. 24-13, Kansas City. A quick look at the NFC South standings, and this is what I meant in the beginning of the game, talking about Tampa Bay. They're still okay, but they would like to have a win here because they've got their bye week next week. And the last thing you want to do, a game behind in the division, is to go on a bye with a loss. That one tipped up, nearly intercepted. Donnie Edwards was close to it. 2nd down.
And looking at the NFC South, really all 4 teams are still in it. Today, Atlanta will play Oakland, a game that you know, Atlanta's a much better team. You would think they'd be favorites, should win that game. Carolina and New Orleans have the week off right now. They're in their bye week. So Tampa feels like, hey, listen, we need to keep pace. We can't take a step back. We need to win games that we're supposed to win.
Tampa Bay will come back with Minnesota at home after the bye. Check down, Graham about 2 yards shy of the first. Tackle by Pat Thomas.
And again, it's the check down. I mean, we're not seeing very much stuff down the field. All the one pass we really did see down the field was an interception. The only other pass I can really recall over 15 yards would be that deep in right at the end of the half to Joey Galloway. This offense, and I go back to Ron, I got to believe it's because how ineffective they are in running the ball. They're getting no respect from these safeties to come up and have to play the run.
3rd and 2. Clayton in the short motion, the pitch, Graham, there it is. Graham trucks a man and busts across the 50 for a Bucs first down.
Yeah, and if you run the ball like that, that will get you some respect and force the safeties to come up. Trueblood right here is going to pull outside, and it's just a run outside where they're going to seal down in with the crack black on Tamba Ali, and then you lead by Clayton on Tamba Ali. You get Trueblood out, really doesn't make any contact with Brandon Carr, but forces Brandon Carr to get out of the way and creates a scene for Ernest Graham.
Sean Mahan now has checked in at the right guard spot for Tampa Bay. 1st and 10. There's a crosser. It's wide open. Gilmore with some room to run. John Gilmore with a nice play as he moves inside the 35-yard line. That's good for 16. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. 24-13, Kansas City.
Third quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday continues after these short commercial messages. Davin Joseph up and walking around, limping though. We'll get an injury update on him. As I said though, Sean Mahan replaces him at the right guard spot. And they've got the rookie Zuta over at the left guard spot. 2 backup guards in the game now for Tampa Bay. The check down throw late, and it's complete to Antonio Bryant.
Pass complete to Antonio Bryant.
And we start the 4th quarter here. Ron Pitts, Tony Baselli, Carissa Thompson down the field. We're in Kansas City.
Kansas City Chiefs offense came out very fast, overwhelmed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but Monty Kiffin and his defense has made the adjustments and has really slowed them down, especially in the second half.
Graham and the Chiefs well prepared for whatever run game they might see for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Ernest Graham, even though he hasn't had great numbers the last few games. There's a look at the 3rd quarter numbers.
And look at these rush yards. We talked, there was 98 at halftime, and we said one of the keys were that Kansas City needed to at least try to run the ball, even though they wouldn't be able to. Boy, were we wrong there. And then we thought that Tampa Bay needed to get back to what their identity is, a big physical team that runs the ball. And Kansas City has been very poor this season against the run, but today shutting down Ernest Graham and the Bucs.
Timeout Tampa. That's their first.
Timeout taken by Tampa Bay. They've got 2 left. 24-13 Chiefs.
13:54 on the clock, please. 13:54.
All right, come on. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Keep going. Is that all you got?
Davin Joseph checks back in at right guard for the Bucs. Clifton Smith at halfback. He'll get the ball. Ball is loose. It looked as though Breckenridge knocked it loose, and it's Chiefs ball. Turk McBride comes up with it.
And the problems in the red area continue, Ronnie. Another trip down in there and coming away with no points again. Good time. And I wouldn't doubt that they might review that.
Complete and then fumbled. Recovered by Kansas City.
The question is, did he control the ball, Ron, and then get both feet on the ground and start making a move? But it was a problem last week. Clifton Smith had the fumble last week. As much as he's done positive in the return game, and really majority of the points today were by him, he's got to hold on to the ball. It's hard for coaches to put guys on the field if they can't trust them in that area.
So that'll reset it. And it'll be Chiefs ball at the 10-yard line. The run game. Fumble. Loose ball. Recovered by Tampa Bay. How about that for a change? Tanard Jackson jumps on it. And the Buccaneers get it right back. In fact, I think they gained about 5 or 6 yards in the process.
So positive offensive play for the Buccaneers.
Whatever way you have to do it. I think he caused both. The fumble and recovered it.
And here we'll look at the Buccaneers. Fumbled, they're on their about 13-yard line. Fumbled there right at the 10. And the Chiefs come right back. Jamal Charles gets the ball and returns the favor. And then, like you said, Ronnie, that's Tanard Jackson who comes in and makes the play, gets his hands on the ball, knocks it out, and then recovers it himself.
Tony, we talked about it at halftime. You know, Kansas City's not out of the woods yet. You know, it seems like it's been a lot, and a lot has gone on, 24-13, but plays like that get you beat. Now let's see if Tampa Bay can actually put it in the end zone. A little trickeration on their own, and it works. The halfback pass. Alex Smith with the touchdown. Graham to Smith, and Jon Gruden says we're going for 2.
Now, while it wasn't quite as dramatic as the, you know, Wildcat reverse pass throwback to the quarterback, a little trickeration of their own. Ernest Graham's going to be right here, get the ball from Jeff Garcia, and is going to find Alex Smith, just works out into the flat, and it's a very easy throw.
Oh, boy.
And the Chiefs hook, line, and sinker on that. Never even paid any attention to Alex Smith. Waltzes in the end zone all by himself. Nearest Chief isn't 10 yards near him.
Here comes the 2-point conversion. First 2-point conversion of the season for Tampa Bay. Garcia time, throws, and it's short. Not quite there. Hilliard couldn't quite get in.
The try attempt failed.
So the trick plays are in abundance here today. 24-19 Kansas City. So Ernest Graham decides to get on the
get a little
bike.
Workout, a little cardio.
Right, get your cardio going.
I need some cardio.
He throws the halfback option, a very short, edited version of a halfback option.
Almost like a shot put option.
Yeah.
He's going to shot put it out there to Alex Smith.
Bottom line, it works. Kansas City now just barely holding on, 24-19. After being down as much as 24-3. That one rolled in the end zone for a touchback. Something about that end zone, Tony Baselli.
And this is where, if you're Herm Edwards, you have to communicate to your young football team, we have to finish. We need to learn us to finish ball games. We didn't do it against the Jets last week. Let's see if we can take it the next step in our maturation and do it today against the Bucs.
Let's go down to Carissa Thompson.
Well, Tony, that's exactly what I'm seeing. You know, talking to Herm Edwards at halftime, he emphasized that his team needed to maintain their focus. And this is a sideline very focused. You wouldn't know if they were winning or losing. They're almost stoic looking. And the only one making any noise is the coaches with the message, let's finish.
And that finish talk, a direct response from last week in spite of picking up Brett Favre 3 times, including one for a touchdown, and leading with 6 minutes left. They give it up, and there you go. Interception. Philip Buchanan. He's going to go the distance. A marker goes down.
There's a penalty flag down.
Let's check the call.
With the interception.
And Ron, it's going to be...
If it's before the interception, it wipes it out.
It's going to be before the interception. I believe it was Savvy
Before the
Piscatelli.
pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense number 21.
Wow.
That's a penalty.
Working against Tony
Automatic first
Gonzalez.
down.
Again, it's the matchup we talked about. What do you do? Who do you put on him? This time, Monty Kiffin decides to put a safety on him, and you can see Tony Gonzalez is going to run right by him, and boy, they could have gone for holding as well. Not only illegal contact, but Savvy Piscatelli has his hands on him and jerks Tony Gonzalez's shoulder pads. Easy call for the official.
Piscatelli getting his first career start at strong safety, replacing the injured Jermaine Phillips, who's out for about 4 to 6 weeks with a broken forearm. And that is a huge play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Touchdown there. And an extra point would have put the Bucs up. There's Dwayne Bowe using that strength, and Bowe fights off tacklers and lets you know about it as he gets a first down and moves across midfield.
And I like what Changeli's doing here. He's staying aggressive. You have the lead still, but no time to play scared right now. And they see the matchup, the much bigger Dwayne Bowe working against Rondé Barber. Just a quick pass, and if you can get 4 or 5 yards, it's a positive gain. But with your bigger receiver working against Rondé Barber, who's smaller, break one tackle and it turns into a big play.
Bowe 5th in the AFC in catches, tied for 2nd in the AFC in the third down reception department. He's already got a big touchdown today. The bootleg, this has been there all day for Kansas City. Thigpen not showing much regard for the body, works it up inside till about the 46-yard line. A pickup of 3. The last 4 possessions for Kansas City did not start out like the first 4.
No, and the big one was the last fumble by Jamal Charles down in your own territory. Even if you can just get 1 first down and have to punt again, that's a positive play because Tampa Bay has not shown the ability to drive the ball offensively at all. And so that's why that one hurt so bad, backed up in your own territory. Though this young offense is responding. They're listening to their coaches. Hey, we need to finish. We need to stay in this, stay focused.
They run it on 2nd and 7. Charles looking to bounce it outside, and he does. He'll have the first, get a block. Luckily, they don't call it a clip, but it's a first down for Kansas City. Let's go for this game break out to Los Angeles, and here's Kurt Menefee. All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Chiefs entering into almost the exact situation they were in last week. A little different score-wise. They were up 24-21 with under 6 minutes remaining. They tried to run the ball, went 3 and out, turned it over to Brett Favre, and he came back and beat him.
Pass to Mark Bradley.
That complete to Mark Bradley. Piscatelli on the coverage and tackle.
Ron, you got to like what you've seen out of Tyler Thigpen today so far. Came out, red hot. 7 for 9. Hit a little bit of a slow spurt there in the middle, but he's staying in the game. He's making the throws they're asking him to make. For a guy who's only starting his 3rd game, I see why Herm Edwards says we might have the guy of the future here. He's not 100% sure, but boy, this young guy has a chance.
Originally drafted in the 7th round by Minnesota last year. Look at him using all of the clock. And Charles has been there all day. And look at Charles stay in bounds. A nice scoop move, then gets back upfield for the first and some. Great awareness by 2 young players on that play. One, Thigpen running the clock all the way down, and then Charles not going out of bounds.
And they caught the Bucs in a stunt. The Bucs defensive line's going to slant inside, and they just zone block and seal everything, and Jamal Charles hits the corner. You can see Rondé Barber get pinned inside by Tony Gonzalez, and there's no support outside for the Buccaneers, and then Jamal Charles finishes the play. I think some of the Buccaneers thought, oh, he's just going to run out of bounds.
Yeah.
Plants that left foot, cuts it back in, and forces a great linebacker in Derrick Brooks to miss him.
Charles with 93 yards rushing. They switch it up. That's Savage. Savage for a couple. And Charles coming out of Texas, as we said, the 3rd round pick, one of 2 third-round picks this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. A pure sprinter. The former Big 12 100 meters champion his freshman year at Texas. Had a 6.3 yard per carry average last year for the Longhorns. And I know he's probably crying inside after that great game and Longhorn loss to the Texas Tech.
Ronnie, the Buccaneers have not allowed a 100-yard rusher this year. Jamal Charles is knocking on the door.
Savage stays in, gives Charles a breather. And if I'm Charles, I go ahead and get myself back in that game because, you've worked hard all day. You're on the cusp of 100 yards.
And here he
Don't
comes.
let someone else take it in.
He's 15 for 93 right now, Ron. He had a little breather. He wants Finish this drive third and short. I turn around and hand it to him again. I mean, you can tell he's a back who's getting in that zone. The more carries the good ones get, the better they get.
And you weren't even sure if he was going to play this week.
Yeah,
He'd been bothered by a bad ankle.
Twisted his ankle last week against the Jets.
He really couldn't practice all week. He's back in the game, 3rd and 1. Plenty of time for Thigpen. And he just tosses it out of bounds. That's a souvenir.
Ron, they tried to set up the screen to Jamal Charles there, but the Buccaneers were not fooled at all. And as soon as they saw it, he tries to set up, and then at the end of the play, he's running around trying to find somebody, and Gaines at him.
And gets blasted.
Plants him in the turf, but that was a screen. That was supposed to be a screen. The veteran D-line of the Buccaneers never bought it. I don't like the call of a screen this close to the end zone, because this is why. Because the secondary and the linebackers don't have to cover that much space, and so they can hang around right at the line of scrimmage and see the screen much easier. As well as his team was running, I like to see him to turn around and hand it off to Jamal Charles.
23 yards out. The entire special teams crew has been changed over. Backup center. Long snapper. This play is stopped.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
The backup punter, Steve Weatherford, will hold. And your second kicker of the year, Connor Barth, will kick for you.
Ron, this makes it an 8-point game, so Tampa Bay still within 1 score and a 2-point conversion.
28 yards.
If Tampa Bay loses this game, I mean, you can point to so many plays, but the interference or the hold on Piscatelli wiping out what looked like a Buchanan return for a touchdown will ring huge. And that one is clean. So the Kansas City Chiefs dodge a huge bullet on the penalty, drive down the field with the help of some good running, and tack on to the lead. And Tony, this is fairly clear. When you're giving up 5.3 yards a rush, it's going to be a long day for you.
Yeah, that is not what Tampa Bay's defense is used to. And after watching film of Kansas City this year, I never expected that. And you've got to like what you've seen out of the rookie, Jamal Charles.
Absolutely. Tampa Bay came into the game giving up only 3.6 yards per carry. And they've given up a total of 170 yards rushing. That's the most for this year. And we're not even done with the game yet. This is Smith. Smith running a little high. Finds a way to shake loose and gets out to about the 33 yard. And it's coming up next right here on Fox.
Classic NFL game. Great matchup. That Dallas defense played so well last week against Tampa Bay, shutting down the run. But it's going to go to a whole new level this week. Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs running right downhill at you.
First and 10 with a solid hit by Donnie Edwards. Donnie Edwards has been a little nicked up, but he gets the call here today in replace of DeMario Williams and makes his presence known. Hurry up offense now for Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay trying to change the momentum, trying to change up the tempo a little bit.
And Donnie Edwards shaken up. I thought he had that look in his eyes.
Is he shaking up, or is he doing the old veteran move of realizing these guys are changing up, coming into a little... I always loved as on the sidelines, we're watching our defense out there, and you can see they're getting tired. All of a sudden, you see a guy just fall down. And
just fall down, right.
All of a sudden, and...
Now, you said you had a couple run-ins with Donnie Edwards.
Oh, yeah, he's
you being a Trojan, and he's a Bruin.
He's one of your Bruin boys. He used to drive me crazy. Running all over the field, undersized linebacker, especially at UCLA, is almost like a converted strong safety.
Oh, that's what we used to do. Yeah.
You never knew if he could, you know, take his skills to the next level. Was he big enough to do it in the NFL? And I mean, he's been doing it forever now, and you can tell he's plenty big enough to deliver hits like that.
Second stint back here in Kansas City. Originally, 4th-round pick by the Chiefs back in '98. Was here for 6 years. Didn't like the money situation. They let him walk. He went to San Diego. Had some conflicts there with the general manager, A.J. Smith. And he's right back here where it all started. Keep it on the ground. That's Graham. Pat Thomas on the tackle. Williams checks in to replace Edwards.
And they're right back to the no huddle, and the Chiefs are down a couple linebackers now with Derek Johnson out as well with Donnie Edwards.
1st and 10 throw. Hilliard went backwards. I'm not sure if he got anything. Brandon Carr on the tackle.
Look at Davin Joseph and Jeremy Truba working together. Walking Alfonso Boone right off the ball. Great double team. They had hips together, shoulders together. That's why they got the great movement.
Wide open again, middle of the field. That's Hilliard. And Hilliard converts, moves inside the 30-yard line for Tampa Bay 1st down. Page on the tackle.
Hilliard's just going to work up the field and find the soft spot in the zone. Pat Thomas, the middle linebacker, just doesn't get enough depth and leaves it too big of a void.
They go to the run, trying to get outside as Graham can't quite do it. Donnie Edwards checks back in and forces him inside.
And the reason this Tampa Bay offense is going no huddle right now is because they're down only 1 possession, but they need a 2-point conversion.
That's
if
right.
you score here and if you don't get the 2-pointer, you need the ball back. So it becomes a 2-possession game at that point.
Backside throw to Graham about 2 yards short of the 1st down. I didn't see this type of speed from Kansas City's defense on film in the last 2 games I watched. Well, I'm not sure Tampa Bay did either.
Well, and a lot of times we talked to Herm. He said, listen, individually we're starting to play better, but we have not done it as a team defensively. I think individually each guy keeps on playing better and better. You're going to see this defense look faster and faster.
Garcia heating up. He's hit 10 of the last 11. There's another one. Let's see how they mark it. That's Hilliard again. Hilliard's going to do that little quick turn and look route on you all day. Like I said in the past, he likes to play basketball in between the numbers. 4:30 and counting. They call it a 1st down. Tampa Bay now with 2 timeouts, down by 8. As my partner says, if you miss the 2-point conversion, it becomes a 2-possession game. You need a field goal, at least, in and out of the hands of Bryant.
And that's something we have not seen from Antonio Bryant this year. Has been the most sure-handed receiver for the Bucs. He's working in the slot, just going to work over the middle. He was outside. Ike Hilliard in the slot, working over the middle. The ball's a little bit high, but that's one I guarantee you when Antonio Bryant turns on the film tomorrow, he's going to be kicking himself because that's one he should catch.
2nd and 10.
You know, it's one person not on the field for quite a while now is Joey Galloway. Has not been in the game at receiver.
Clayton on the crosser. He goes the other way. That's to Hilliard again, and Hilliard with the first as he works inside the 10-yard line. Working on the backup, Tyron Brackenridge.
And now they're going to huddle up. They're in the red area. They're at 4 minutes. They've got it down here, and they got to make sure they need to get 7 here. Actually, they need to get 8. They need 6 in the 2-pointer.
Right.
But this is where they've struggled all year, Ron. They were absolutely awful last week. They're not very good this week, and for the season, they're in the bottom tier as far as teams scoring touchdowns in the red area.
1st and goal. The toss to Graham. Gets a nice block. Another nice block. Fumble! Unbelievable. Touchback. The red zone problems continue to destroy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The ball is recovered by Kansas City. Touchback.
Kansas City recovers. Officially, it's a touchback. They'll take over at the 20-yard line.
And just when you think Ernest Graham just running left over Gilmore, following Big Donald Penn and Jamel Cook, looks like he's about to get down to the 2-yard line. And I think it might have been Tamba Hali from the back. And the question is his knees on the ground. And that is very close I think if you're Jon Gruden, you got to throw the flag and take a chance with it.
We're not under 2 minutes,
and here comes
so the flag can come from the bench, and there it goes. His assistant threw it, and they're going to check this. It looked as though he had a knee down or some part of his leg down. It's hard to tell from this angle.
Even if you're not sure, Ron, if you look at the time and the situation you're in, you have to throw it. Take your chances.
Talking it over with Ed Hockley.
Tampa Bay is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a fumble.
So we are in challenge mode here in Kansas City. And yes, this is the play to challenge if you're Jon Gruden, because a turnover here all but ends your day.
You see, it's Tamba Hali who jumps on the back and hits the ball as he comes down. You can't tell from that angle whether the ball is coming loose when the knee's on the ground. There's the... No, that's the helmet. There's the knee right there.
Well, we don't know if the ball is out yet. It's hard to see from that angle.
And Ron, remember, they called it a fumble on the field, and so they're going to have a picture to tell where the ball was when that knee hits. And if you can't see the ball, they're going to keep it.
Stay with the original call.
Stay with the original call.
And Bernard Pollard, his body blocks the precise moment when that ball may have come out. I mean, this is about as hard. Hey, throw it. This is about as hard a call as you're going to get from an official standpoint. Ed Hockley now under the hood. And remember, elbow, forearm, knee, leg, helmet with contact, and the ball's out, you're down. Okay?
Shin, everything.
Right.
Anything of the lower leg.
Right. Hand, foot, the ball itself touching, you are not down.
But I think the problem is, Ron, I think you hit the nail on the head. You can't see. I believe it was Jared Page who was blocking the view.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's a touchback. Tampa is charged with their second timeout.
And actually,
we're right, Tony.
Yeah, it was Bernard Pollard who was blocking it. Yeah. And that's when you know, good job, Bernard. Way to be in the right place. You can't tell. What a big play.
He may have changed the game just by being in the way.
And right here, Tamba Hali making a great effort play, knocking the ball out. And you know what, from that angle, that was the best angle right there. I believe the knee was not on the ground. I think they got it right. You could see the ball from that angle coming out before the knee hit. And it was Jared Page who did a good job of being alert, getting on it.
And Tony, that's the second red zone fumble today for Tampa Bay. It just keeps snowballing as they give to Charles here. Tony, we talk about the injuries. The fullback spot has been a problem. B.J. Askew, he's out with a bad hamstring. Byron Storer, he's on the IR list. He's gone for the year as of 2 weeks ago. And it got so bad that they had Ernest Graham come over and say, okay, I'll be the fullback. He volunteered to do that.
Well, and Jon Gruden said, listen, we're asking Ernest Graham to do too much. I mean, he's halfback 1 week, tailback. They use him in a lot of different areas. They split him out quite a bit. And that was one of the things he said on the call, where we're asking him to do too much, and you have to wonder, does that start weighing on a guy?
Charles for a few more. As Kansas City tries to run the clock down, another timeout called by Tampa Bay. That should be their final timeout.
Timeout, Tampa Bay. That's their third and final timeout.
So the Buccaneers are out of timeouts.
Please reset the clock to 2:29.
Jamal Charles, Notson, and all the yards that he's rushed for in his career here in Kansas City. And when he's not playing, you have to say, well, we got this one pretty easy, but not so because of that man, Jamal Charles.
And he is the complete back. He can run between the tackles, not the biggest guy, but shows the ability to run through arm tackles. And then he has the explosive speed to get outside. And then talking to people in the building for the Chiefs, the one thing they love about the guy, their best pass blocker, best blitz pickup guy of all the running backs.
And that has been a major complaint here in Kansas City. the fans and the coaching staff of Larry Johnson not as good of a blocker as he should be. What a catch by Gonzalez.
But they're going to get him for the push-off. It was a great catch, one-handed catch. He goes up and gets it, but right before he goes up, Ron.
Offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
The last time he was working against Rondé Barber, it was Rondé Barber who got called for the penalty. You can see Rondé fighting. Yeah, that's a close one. I mean,
I've seen a lot worse than that.
Yeah, a lot of hand fighting.
He does a little push here, but you know that's commonplace in the NFL.
And they probably could have called Rondé early for holding on for dear life as he's trying to cut the ball. But it's got to be a questionable call. Why do you roll out and throw the ball like that in that situation? Now, to their defense, Changeli and Herb Edwards got criticized last week for running it 3 straight times. Everyone jumped on him, you know. And so sometimes it's hard as the offensive coordinator to win in that situation.
Now it's a 3rd and 14. They go to the draw. That's Charles. Charles almost broke it. And a nice save there by Barrett Ruud. And Kansas City is going to have to turn it over. And Charles goes over the 100-yard rushing mark. The first time a back has gone over 100 yards rushing against Tampa Bay this season. 106 yards rushing for the rookie on the day.
Head coach Herm Edwards on the sideline, offensive coordinator Changeli up in the booth, deciding to throw on 3rd down and 4 instead of handing it to Jamal Charles. You have to wonder, did they think back to last week when they were criticized for trying to run it 3 straight times against the Jets in a similar situation?
Now this resets everything for Tampa Bay. Clifton Smith with a nice return, gets it to midfield. It'll be good field position for Tampa Bay. They have no timeouts left, and we are under the 2-minute warning. And the turnovers have killed Tampa Bay today. First play, Ernest Graham would ended up being one of his 2 fumbles on the day. And there's another turnover approaching the red zone. The fumble there by Smith. And you can blame it on whatever you want to blame it on, Tony, but the drought continues for the Buccaneers when they get into the red zone.
But great field position at the 50. Set up by another nice return by Clifton Smith.
So here we go. Screen. Nice one. Graham with a nice pickup. He's down to about the 42-yard line, 2 yards shy of the first. Ali on the tackle. Remember, the Buccaneers have no timeouts.
And this is where you have to have a sense of urgency, play fast, but don't rush.
Galloway back in the game, going for Galloway. He's got Galloway, and it's knocked away. What a play. Nearly intercepted. It would have been a circus catch. And you could see Galloway limping a little bit. That was Gerard Page, the free safety. Look at Galloway, not 100%.
Yeah, even not 100%, but still has the ability to threaten any safety in the NFL. You can tell that he's just not feeling real good right now.
If Garcia throws that ball more inside
into the center of the field, I agree with you, Ron. It's probably a touchdown. But what a play by Gerard Page.
Smith in the backfield. Buccaneers need a quick score and 2 points. And if they miss the 2 points, they're going to have to come back with an onside. Big hit on Clifton Smith. Bernard Pollard putting all 225 pounds into Smith. Pickup of 10. Clock running. First down. Complete to Antonio Bryant. What a throw. It almost looked like Edwards intercepted it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he came up with that. It was thrown behind Antonio Bryant, but does a good job of staying with the play.
Clock play here to stop the clock. A penalty marker here.
And Ron, that's a runoff.
That's going to be a runoff.
That should be a 10-second runoff.
They've got no timeouts left, as long as it's a penalty to prevent the snap of the ball.
Well, wouldn't you think it is if it's a pre-snap penalty? And if I'm not mistaken, that means Tampa Bay better be up on the line of scrimmage ready to go.
By rule, if the clock is running, and if it's a penalty that prevents the snap of the ball, it could be a runoff.
There was a false start on the play. Number 19, false start offense. There was 35 seconds when the false start occurred before the ball was snapped. That foul under a minute requires a 10-second runoff. Please take the clock to 25 seconds, and it's still first down.
Mike Hilliard at the top of the screen is going to be the one.
Yep.
He might just get a little bit, little anxious there.
That's one of those rules under 1 minute, as Ed Hockley pointed out. You have a penalty that prevents the snap of the ball. They hit you with a 10-second runoff. They have run 10 seconds off the clock. They've stopped it again. Now timeout called by Kansas City.
Timeout Kansas City. That's their first. It's a 30-second timeout. And the clock should
Don't forget,
25 seconds.
you've got a rivalry. That'll be coming your way right after this game.
And boy, the Cowboys would love to steal one in the Meadowlands before they go on their bye week.
Well, they've won the last 3 in a row versus the Giants.
Yeah,
so.
but what's on their mind is that playoff loss they had.
That's the only one that matters,
that's
right?
the only one that matters. Trust me, that's what both teams are thinking of.
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers know about that situation with the New York Giants.
And I'm a little curious that Herm Edwards took a timeout there because the clock was running even before the snap. Because they start the clock after that last penalty.
No timeouts, 25 seconds left. The Buccaneers need to score. They need a touchdown. Garcia, very close to the line. Bad throw, got it in. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Antonio Bryant with Garcia very close to the line of scrimmage. He beat Brackenridge. Excuse me, that's Leggett. 24 yards.
Right here. And this is the rookie, Maurice Leggett, who's in for the other rookie, Brandon Flowers, who's their best coverage guy. And you can see Maurice Leggett just hesitate for a second, slow his feet down. If he stays with the cover, stays with Antonio, might have been an interception instead of a touchdown.
0 for 1 today on the 2-point conversions. They need this to tie it up.
Timeout Kansas City. That's their second. It's a 30-second timeout.
Now Kansas City with 1 timeout left. Let's check to see if Garcia went over the line of scrimmage. The blue line is where the line of scrimmage is.
He's been known to press the envelope when it comes to this all the time.
No, clearly on the other side. And just out of reach for Leggett. And a nice play under pressure.
And while I questioned the last timeout Herm Edwards took, I like that timeout. It's almost like a basketball game. Let Tampa Bay show what offensive set they're going to get in. You can show one defense, now come to the sidelines and decide what you want to do.
Throw inside, they got it. That's Smith. And you talk about a tight fit. Alex Smith is hurt. So the Buccaneers have tied it up here with 19 seconds left.
They're going to start in a bunch formation on the right, and Alex Smith works across the formation. Jeff sees nothing on the front side. He definitely wanted to go to the front side where the bunch formation was originally. Nothing there. Worked backside to Alex Smith, working against John McGraw. Great pattern, the way he pressed outside, then rolled back inside, using his body as a shield between the defender and the ball.
And Jon Gruden likes it. Alex Smith, the 3rd-round pick back in 05 out of Stanford, and Herman Edwards is like, here we go. What we talked about with the young players and a young team. And Alex Smith, you can see the way he got his left leg bent backwards. Secured the catch and the two-point conversion, but having to be helped off as a result.
Yeah, did a great job. His leg, his knee was in a real bad position, able to still concentrate and hold on to that ball. Well, here we go, Ron.
One timeout. The pooch kick by Bryant. And that's Savage. And Savage brings it up to about the 32-yard line. Tackled by Will Allen.
First and 10, Kansas City. From the Chiefs' 32-yard line.
So 14 seconds left. And the Buccaneers, Tony, finally got that touchdown in the red zone.
Well, listen, before we
led to all this.
Yeah, you're right. But let's not. This is not over yet.
No.
Remember, a few weeks ago, Atlanta down from against Chicago through the long, deep out route, got out of bounds. Enough time for a field goal to kick the winning field goal. With one timeout remaining for the Chiefs, they can try a deep out or even throw into the middle of the field, take a timeout, and try for one more shot.
So Tyler Thigpen wasting time. That ball is tipped. Could have been disastrous. Jimmy Wilkerson with the tip.
Now, that's not what you want to do if you're a quarterback. I mean, you make sure you can throw the ball only where your guy can catch it. And right now, he's trying to make a play. I think you just throw it out of bounds. He's lucky that tip ball did not get intercepted and returned the other way. That ball was fluttering up there, and Cato June saw it, had his eyes on it, just couldn't get there soon enough. And now they're just going to take a knee and play for the win in overtime.
Tony, they saw what we saw. We saw that ball flutter in the air. And then I think Herm Edwards says we're not taking a chance. So we are officially in overtime here in Kansas City. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers went down early, 24-3. They have fought back troubles in the red zone, turnovers, everything you can imagine. And we are in overtime.
Quarter timing. All replay situations will be handled from the booth. Each team will have 2 timeouts, and the first team to score will win. Tampa, it's your choice. Heads. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is heads. Tampa has won the toss and wishes to receive. Switch around then, please. Tampa has won and will receive.
So the Buccaneers win the toss. They will receive as we start the overtime period here in Kansas City. So we are officially in overtime here in Kansas City, 27-27. Ron Pitts, Tony Baselli, Carissa Thompson. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers drove down the field with time running out. Not only did they hit the touchdown, they also got the 2-point conversion to tie it up. And this man, Clifton Smith, has already taken one back for a touchdown today, 97 yards.
And has set up great field position for Tampa Bay's offense.
Smith will get his chance right off the bat. And he's chopped down quickly at about the 26-yard line. Rocky Boyman with the tackle. Let's go on to Carissa Thompson.
Well, guys, a hero for all Bucs fans, Alex Smith. He's sidelined with a knee injury, questionable return. He was up walking around trying to work that knee out. In fact, a woman came running down from the stands wearing a number 81 jersey. It was his mother to make sure he was okay.
Hey, mom's got to check on her boy. He definitely gave it up for the program, that's for sure. Jeremy Stevens will check in his place at the tight end spot. Garcia in trouble, looking for a man, finds Clayton. Clayton still going, a missed tackle. Michael Clayton across the 50 and out of bounds at Kansas City's 45-yard line. 29 yards on the pass play.
And this is something the defensive backs for the Kansas City Chiefs were aware of, that Jeff Garcia extends plays. He's not running around back there to try to run. He's looking down the field trying to make a play, and then Michael Clayton follows that up, breaking one tackle, and in overtime, sometimes it just takes one misplay or somebody making a big play to end the game.
319 yards passing for Garcia. Early movement. That was McBride.
Number 90, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The Chiefs now starting to implode.
And Ron, I think if you're Tampa Bay, you stay in the air. You got a bunch of rookie corners, and your best rookie corner, Brandon Flowers, is out with an injury. Maurice Leggett is now in a nickel situation. Tyrone Brackenridge is in as well, who just got signed back to the squad this week. I think that is the weakest part of this Chiefs defense right now. And if I'm Jeff Garcia and Jon Gruden, I attack it.
Leggett, number 31. They got a touchdown on him that brought it within 1 point. That's Smith. Jeff Garcia went 5 plays, 50 yards in a minute 31 to get 6 points, and then the 2-point conversion to tie this thing up. And the key play right here, the pass interference penalty, offensive pass interference on Gonzalez. That would have been a first down. Under 2 minutes running the clock, that could have sealed the deal. But with a nice run by Michael Clayton after the catch, Buccaneers getting close to field goal range. That's Ike Hilliard close to the first down.
Right here, Ronnie, from the 35, it's about a 53-yard field goal. I think if you're Jon Gruden, you'd like to get at least 5 more yards to make it a little bit easier. You can look at the standings right here. Carolina has the week off, leading the division. New Orleans also in their bye week after their victory against San Diego last week in London. Atlanta playing Oakland right now, 0-0. Tampa Bay knows it needs this one desperately to keep pace.
Remember, Matt Bryant has a long of 49, but he struggled from anything over 50 yards. It looks as though Tampa Bay is just setting up for the kick. That feels a little far out.
I disagree with that. Now you just lost a yard, so now you have about a 54-yard kick. You said it perfectly, Matt Bryant struggling.
And earlier today, pre-game warm-ups, Bryant okay from about 50 yards out.
It's a whole different thing when it's overtime, it's 54 yards, and you got a Chiefs defensive line coming after you.
He's 0 for 2 from anything 50 or over. 2nd and 11. The quick slant, Clayton again. Michael Clayton has been money and working again against the rookie. The rookie got burned for the touchdown, and that's Maurice Leggett. And they get him again here. And more importantly, they move the ball much closer now for Matt Bryant. That ball resting at the 25-yard line.
Now I think you can go into your strategy of handing the ball off to Ernest Graham and trying to place the ball in the center of the field, run the ball, see if you can get a little bit closer. But right here, it's about 43 yards, well within Matt Bryant's range. Clayton
on the day, 4 for 57 yards. And 2 of those came late here in big play. The quick throw, that one bobbled, dangerous. Antonio Bryant couldn't hold on. Once again, we are in overtime. The Kansas City Chiefs started off early on fire, fumbled snap right off the bat for Tampa Bay, and it turned into points. The trickeration, the throwback on the reverse. The one bright spot came early, first half. Clifton Smith on the return. Troubles in the red zone for Tampa Bay, but they get it back late. That would bring them within 1, then they get the 2-point conversion. Or bring them within 2, they get the 2-point conversion and tie it up.
And now look, it's 3rd down, but look for them to send Matt Bryant out now. They are, because if you have a mishandled snap or something goes wrong, you can down it, get on the ground, and try again. So it really gives you a little bit more room for error right here. Right about the 21. It's going to be about a 39-yard field goal, 38 and a half.
38 yards to win it. Matt Bryant. He's 2 for 2 today from 43 and from 25, and I think they put some ice on him.
Timeout, Kansas City. That's their first of 2 allowed in the overtime period.
Big Cowboys-Giants game. They've already got it started there in the Meadowlands. Battle for control of that NFC East right now. The Giants firmly have that in their hands. Actually, New York's up 6-0 right now. The Giants are up 6-0. Just scored and kick the extra point, make it 7-0.
We will be getting you to that game right after this. Matt Bryant can get you to that game a lot faster than we can.
Well, now if you're the Chiefs, this is where you sell out, Ronnie. If you're that Chiefs defensive line, it's one play for everything.
Here it is, 38 yards out for the win. Movement, ball is up, but markers go down, and he pushed it to the right anyway. Let's see who it's on.
I think that's
If
Jeremy
it's against
Trueblood.
Tampa Bay,
I believe it's Jeremy
Kansas
Trueblood.
City will decline it because it was no good.
But I think they whistled the play dead before they kicked
rolled
it.
off, okay?
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Trueblood right here. He's actually working as the tight end in the field goal formation. He's going to have just a little flinch. If you're Matt Bryant, you're glad he flinched because you just missed the field goal.
Okay, but now
they bring Jeff Garcia
back in.
That's why you did that on third down, because
right.
if something happens, now they can try to get a positive play and try to get that 5 yards back.
And I'll guarantee you they've been told at all costs, secure the football, especially Clifton Smith, who's had his issues. They pass. Smith has it. Check that, it's Jameel Cook, and Jameel Cook gets the first down.
Ronnie, are you surprised that Ernest Graham, your starting tailback, is not in the game, and Clifton Smith, the rookie free agent out of Fresno State, is the one you're entrusting back there as well with Jameel Cook at fullback? That just shows you after 2 fumbles today by Ernest Graham, some question marks about him handling the ball.
Jameel Cook.
We are reviewing the ruling on the field of progress.
They're reviewing his progress on the play. So Jameel Cook comes in along with Smith. They switch it up, throw Cook the football. Now they're measuring to see whether or not, or viewing whether or not he
should be
gets
right
the
on the
first
16,
down
right on the
before
16.
He steps out and where they mark it.
But going back to, Clifton Smith, your rookie free agent, not in the game. He is in the game for Ernest Graham, who's your regular go-to halfback. I can see them maybe doing that if they want to work Ernest Graham at the fullback position to run that little pattern in the flat because they trust him. But Ernest Graham on the sidelines. And now we can look at the yellow line, which represents the first down. And right there at the 16, he clearly steps out, which is a yard short.
Let's go for this game break to Los Angeles. Here's Kurt Menefee.
His left foot stepped out of bounds when the ball was just over the 24-yard line. I'm sorry, just over the 14-yard line. Therefore, the ball comes back to about the 14.5-yard line, and it's 4th down.
Okay, so they take off the first down.
Correction, I mean the 15.5-yard line. It's on the short side of the 15.
Okay, Ed?
We got it straight now.
But it's going, the big thing, it's going back to 4th down. They originally called first down.
And so now, Matt, you have to kick the ball.
Right.
This is for all the marbles. You don't have any room for error like you did before when it was 3rd down and you got the penalty. And so this will decide the game.
And this will be from 34 yards out to win it.
It's airborne. It's long enough. It's long enough. It's good. The Bucs win. Bucs win. Bucs win in Kansas City. How about them Buccaneers? Matt Bryant kicks a 34-yard field goal to accomplish the greatest comeback in Buccaneer football history.